Well, Anthony, thanks for coming on the show here.
Thanks for coming to my house. Coming to the mill.
Thanks for feeding me fried chicken when I got here. Aunt Lisa hooked it up.
Auntie Lisa?
Oh.
Yeah.
Come here, setting up a couple cameras. All of a sudden, I'm eating fried chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, she gave you a little guff, too. She was a Bancroft girl. My mom was a Bancroft girl. So, yeah, you were 1 year ahead of me at Holy Name, but I went to Holy Name to kind of relax. So my mom and grandmother, I think they both were valedictorians at Bancroft. My sister went there, too. She was older. She's 4 years older. My brother was 5 years older. So it was a little jumping in right in there. But
she did. She came up hot behind me. This is a private road. So I was like, oh, neighborhood watch is on top of me. Strangers in the neighborhood. And I was apprehensive to go down and just look because I was gonna. And once I saw the camera and I was like, if this isn't his house, you know everyone in the little neighborhood here is going to come after you.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I called you and you're like, no, that's the road. So
oh, cool. Yeah, she keeps an eye on the house. She lives right in Sutton there. So my mom was one of 10. So there's lots of aunts and uncles in the area. So I don't live here. I live in North Carolina, in Charlotte. And I just wrapped up an interview in the other room I'm trying to get a new job or a different job. So I had a virtual interview. But my sister lives in New York. So this house is pretty much empty. We use it as a vacation spot. So the aunts and uncles, they're the neighborhood watch. They keep a close eye on it.
What's interesting is me and you aren't really friends per se like me and Billy were or my other guests. You were in my sister's class. Mm-hmm. So we knew each other. We had similar friends. We went to the same school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until recently that we kind of linked up. So I was like, this should be an interesting way to talk to someone. Because, we knew each other, but it's a totally different path than the other guests. So thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Dude, something that had me cracking up was your latest Instagram post. It might not be your latest because you post a couple of them, but you were talking about how people were giving you flack about where you went on vacation in high school. Because obviously we went to a Catholic school, so it's a private school, so some of the people we went to school with are wealthy. I don't know your situation. I know my situation. I was located near the school, so I don't know if my mom got a discount or what, but 3 kids got to go to the school. I'm sure it was hard to pay for that. But back to you.
Yeah.
We had vacation break, right?
Yeah.
All the kids went on vacation, you know. A bit of privilege to do that. And when you came back to school, they're all bugging you about where you went to vacation. You were like, didn't go on vacation?
Yeah, so the joke actually was about middle school, but that same kind of attitude permeated. Like, kids were so trying to be toppers, as my aunt used to say, Auntie Lisa. I learned that from her. She'd go, oh, your Uncle Timbo's a topper. Right? People that like to come over the top of you and always try to one-up you. So in middle school, that's where that happened. I got in trouble because I played sports all year round, multiple sports. Like, I would be on multiple traveling soccer teams, football teams, baseball teams. And I didn't, I went on a plane in high school. My best friend, Proth. You remember him too?
Yeah,
He's in New York doing huge things. So Billy's my best friend, your last guest. Proth was my other best friend. And Eddie Domain, he's a Millbury guy, was my other best friend. But he went to Auburn. So I met you. We talked about, we didn't really know each other. Billy told me one of those trips we went to Canterbury Lake Park. He said he brought both of us. His mom would take us. Do you remember going to Canterbury Lake Park with me? He's like, you both were on Canterbury Lake Park with me. And I was like, I remember the trip. But I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't remember meeting him. But I knew you in high school. Like, I knew of you then. But it was funny. Billy's like, yeah, you guys, I introduced both of you guys.
Oh, so we have known each other for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Right, then the show stands true. I'm not deviating from the plan.
Yeah. But, the joke I made was about vacation. The kids, when we came back from break, they were talking about where they went. And I played sports all year round. So I was saying I didn't go on vacation. And the girl thought I was lying. And she told the teacher on me, he won't tell us where he went on vacation. I'm like, sweetheart, Anthony doesn't go on vacations. I play sports all year round. And I don't know. I was like, kids, just leave me alone. And then in high school, that kind of topper mentality, that's kind of like my freshman year, I went in trying to be popular. I had my curly hair. I was big into Greek mythology. So remember Samson and Delilah? Remember, he got his strength through his curly hair, and then to defeat him, somebody shaved off his hair and he lost his strength. So I was big into that. My mom would buy me all the books and everything. So I went into Holy Name. I'd never grown my hair out. I could pull it down to my chest here. And as you know, I had over 30 touchdowns my freshman year. I was skinny, the same height, just under 5'11", but 135 pounds. And
athletic as hell.
I didn't grow at all, but I was lightning. And I got called up to varsity and stuff, and one of that quarterback there. I don't want to say his name, but he was he would be teasing me wicked bad. I'm like, bro, there's 1 or 2 freshmen that are playing on varsity. I'm like scoring touchdowns and doing stuff, but he just didn't like how I was like goofy into Wu-Tang and stuff or whatever. So that guy, him like bullying me and stuff, that made me lift weights and be kind of quiet and reserved because I didn't like that mean girl, mean guy stuff. I was like, yo, if you're talking about somebody, go get in a fist fight with them. Like, go, like if I saw someone talking like you, like, oh, I don't like Billy, I would like grab you by the shirt and be like, go say it to Billy's face. Don't tell me, tell him. So the kids didn't like that. So I kind of was quiet. I just did my sports, did my grades. Because freshman year, I tried to be open and like hella goofy. And I'm getting into that now and be effusive and demonstrative and things like that. But kids weren't amenable to it, so I was quiet and reserved and just kind of did my books and did my grades and stuff. So, like, I don't know what your impression of me in high school was. Like, people are like, you're a mute, you don't talk. I'm like, all you guys are talking about is putting people down. I like to just laugh and joke about prof and talk about video games and lift each other up. Like, I was anti-bully because of how I was bullied.
I think my sister and her friends told me you were very smart. So that's how I thought of you. I was like, oh, he's athletic and he's intelligent and like level 1 classes. So that's...
I'm glad they thought that because I was wicked quiet. I never raised my hand or anything. I graduated high honors, like I somehow whipped out like a 1400 or something on SAT. I never opened a book at this house. So my dad, he's a famous musician, we'll get into that. Curtis Waffle, who played the trombone and all that. He would stay here on the couch. My mother's room were there. So my experience with relationships, my parents slept in separate rooms. I slept on the porch on the couch out there. So my whole take on relationships was weird. So I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of yelling and fighting because they stayed together and they were married the whole time. But I was like reserved about relationships. So I was really kind of like afraid to do it. My first major relationship was when I was 30 years old. So, but I'm surprised that they had that impression because I really didn't talk that much. I just kind of like handed in my assignments timely and that's it. I kept to myself.
Well, maybe it was like junior, senior year. I feel like you were hanging out with them or...
Oh, it was post high school. I started hanging out with was she friends with Caitlin Yahemchek and Devin?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so after high school, when I started drinking, I didn't drink in high school. I was just like work out, come home and work out every single day. And then after high school, I hung out with only name kids more.
And that's like my sister's best friend. So
yeah, so she probably heard, I would see her at party. Your sister wasn't a party girl, but we partied after high school. So I reconnected with only name folks that way. They're like, you drink and party? And I'm like, I sure do. I don't anymore, I'm sober now, but yeah, I sure did. Woo.
You mentioned your dad is a musician?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so that poster you see behind him with John Coltrane, he was best friends with Coltrane. So when you speak about jazz, people know Coltrane.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Your dad was friends with John Coltrane?
They were best friends. He was the godfather to his children.
Oh, that's amazing.
They lived together.
And he lived here in...
in New York. So my father's from Detroit. He was actually an orphan. His mother died during giving birth, I believe, and his father died before that. And so they were in an orphanage. And then his sister taught him. So my sister's 1 year older than me, and he's like, the relationship you have with your sister is like the one I had. So his sister was really the prodigy that learned music at 2 years old and taught him how to do it, and he ran with it. But my dad was born in '34, and it wasn't a viable career for women like that much. I know you had your Billie Holidays, but those were really one-offs. I think his sister ended up becoming like a dancer or something. I don't know much about her. But I think her name was Marie Antoinette. I think that's why my sister's... I got to double check all this now because he didn't talk about his past too much. It was rough. He was born and raised in an orphanage, taught himself music, joined the army at 16, went and fought the Korean War, was the commander of a tank. But yeah, Coltrane found out who he was and paid for him to come to New York. And I saw a picture. My dad showed me, this is when at some point in my life. And the suit looked really big. And I'm like, Dad's like 18 right there. Because my dad had me when he was 57. He was much older.
I was just going to ask you if he was born in 34. When did he have you?
Yeah, he was late in life. I was so he had 5 older sons that I'm half brothers. I just call them half brothers. They were all in their 60s, 70s. I was like a great uncle when I was 10 because they had kids and they had kids right away. It was full of power, baby. Yeah, so then he had 3. He wanted to have a girl. So he had 6 sons, and then he finally had my sister. And then, then I think I was kind of the accident. I found, as we were cleaning out the house, I found 1986 contraceptive pills. So I think my mom just wasn't taking them, and I was the accident, that just kind of snuck in there. Sneaky.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you remember music being played in your house when you were growing up?
So he would always practice. He would practice in the dining room there. So he slept there. When this was on TV, we'd watch all the Tyson fights here. You know, every Tyson fight we ordered because he had to teach us how to fight. He knew we were growing up in a racist town and everything. But I think he boxed in the Army too.
Jazz and boxing.
And little known thing, I found out after when he was old, about to die. So he actually was like an elite baseball player, an elite track athlete, like one of the fastest people on planet Earth. He qualified for the Olympics. And he flew back from he lived in Germany, I believe, and then he qualified. So if you run a fast enough time, you qualify for the Olympics. Like, you don't need to keep going to each race. I think he just didn't even go. And then he also did a tryout for the Yankees. So I met a guy that was one of the heads of the Negro Baseball League when my dad was getting his Jazz Masters Award in New York. I was maybe like 20 or 21. The head of the Negro Leagues was like, you know, your dad, the museum. He's like, your dad tried out. You know who your dad is, right? I'm like, no. He's like, he tried out for the Yankees and hit like a home run, and I had a bunch of hits. And then he just didn't. Racism was too bad. So he for black athletes, and he wouldn't make enough money. So coming at it, he wasn't practicing baseball and stuff. So I was like, yo, that's where our athleticism comes from. And the guy, that head of the Negro Leagues, because my dad is maybe like 5'7", 5'8". I'm like 5'10", 5'11". He said that he could grab a dime off a backboard. A basketball, and I'm like, get the hell out of here. And because my dad beat Jesse Owens in a race. Granted, Jesse Owens, you know who that? He's like the famous black sprinter. He would think he was like older. He was older when my dad raced him. My dad was probably like 20. He was probably like 30 or 40. But he beat Jesse Owens and qualified for the Olympics. But sports, and he could grab a dime off the backboard. I remember my dad getting frustrated. I'm like, no, he couldn't. I said no, he couldn't a couple times. Looking back, I'm like, damn, my dad was probably he was getting upset. And the guy swore he saw my dad do that, and I'm like, that's bananas.
Was he born in the U.S.?
My dad was, yeah. So he was born in Detroit. So from what I understand, his parents one was from North Carolina, one was from South Carolina. That's probably why I was driven there. And they moved to Detroit with the jobs, they broadcasted it so people could come work there. And then my understanding is when all the black people moved there, a lot of the people moved out, and that's why the city went I don't know, the city was a ghost town, and that's why they abandoned the city because they didn't like these minorities moving there. And then he moved into something. That's how a quick high level story of how he ended up in an orphanage and stuff, and why they ended up in Detroit.
So you were born here?
I was born in Worcester. Yep, my brother was born in New York, but my sister and I were both born in Worcester, St. Peter's.
What drove you to Holy Name? Was it sports and academics?
Yeah, so my older brother and sister. So I'm the least inclined. My mother was the Bancroft valedictorian. And she went to, I don't know why she didn't go to an Ivy League or something, but for women, my mother was born in 53 in the 70s and stuff, she didn't like that stuff either. So I think that's why my mom and my dad bonded. They didn't like those civil injustices. So if my dad went to college early too. My brother was a prodigy who skipped 4 grades. And then something happened when he was a child. And then he went back to his normal grade. And he kind of had his rebellious years, but he went to Holy Name. So Holy Name was the school where you go and party and it's relaxed. Bancroft was where you go if my sister was studying or winning all these awards. So I wanted to be relaxed. I didn't want to go to Bancroft and be I don't think I was as smart as my mom and my sister. Is
Bancroft a private school?
Oh, yeah, it's one of the best schools in Worcester. It's over by what do you call Gold Star Boulevard? Yeah, it's the elite school. They don't even have football there.
They don't even let people who grew up in Worcester know about it.
Oh,
I never even
that's
heard
one of the best high schools in the country. Yeah, so
oh, I know why I never heard
yeah, so it's it's even better than Worcester Academy.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's everyone, my aunts and uncles, it was either Holy Name, Worcester Academy, or Bancroft. The ones that really had the proclivity for knowledge and education, they chose Bancroft or Worcester Academy. And the partiers, I didn't end up partying, but the guys who I didn't take school that serious. I didn't come home and study or do anything, and that's why my mom would be always screaming and yelling, Curtis, he's not doing any work, Curtis. So I'll be I'm scared every time I hear 50 Cent name, Curtis. I get shivers because he was the enforcer. But yeah, I didn't come home and do homework, so that's why I went to Holy Name. And then St. John's, it was an all boys school. I was yeah, so that's why I didn't want to go to. But I wasn't talking to girls anyway at Holy Name anyway, so it didn't matter anyways.
Yeah, I was talking to him, but I was just afraid.
Yeah, so girls would come freshman year. A lot of the older girls came up to me. I told you, I had over 30 touchdowns. I was playing varsity football. The quarterback was picking on me, gave me a really hard time, and that's why I kind of shut down. But freshman year, the junior, senior girls were always, the Latina girls, the black girls would come up and give me numbers. So as the years went on, I was so used to girls coming up and giving me their number, so I never I just thought the girls didn't like me because they didn't come up and give me their number, but they were waiting for me to go to talk to them. They were like, you don't like us. I had a crush on mad girls, but I always thought if they liked you, they came up and give you the number. But that was more of the Latino black girl thing. The white girls, I'm speaking generally here. Like, you know, they expected you to go up to them.
I really had no confidence in talking to a girl till I grew a mustache.
Yeah.
So till I was 25 and couldn't grow them. Then I grew the mustache, and then it's like a flip.
Yeah.
Got switched at the bar because my buddy, we were there, and a girl bought me a shot after I got the mustache for the first time, and I was like, oh, game changer.
Yeah. That's why you got that. I love the curls. So I had a COVID beard. I should pull up my ID. So I could pull my beard down to here because I always worked in an office setting. I couldn't grow it, but for me, it's funny you got your confidence through that. Like I drank really heavily in college and stuff, and then I would go up to girls and stuff. That's the only way I had the confidence.
Courage.
Yeah, liquid courage. And now I've got that courage sober, you know, and I could do something like this no problem. But I didn't have that in high school and college. That's why I ended up drinking in college, because then I could go up to girls and talk to them, but I would be all sloppy and drunk, but it was so embarrassing. But that was my stepping stone to learn how to talk to girls. I did it while blackout drunk all the time, you know.
Not throwing shade, but you could use the Al Bundy story. Scored 4 touchdowns in one game.
I scored 5. I scored 5 in one game.
Remember Married with Children?
Yeah, I do. I remember. That's how people would call me, because Fuller scored 5 touchdowns. I scored 5 touchdowns against St. Bernard's. And then we got smoked by St. John's. But yeah, I scored 5 against St. Bernard's. No big deal.
Al Bundy?
Yeah. I should put my hand like this. Oh, if there's a Peggy down the line all day. You kidding me? I always had a crush on Peggy.
Yeah. So, musician dad. Was there music always being played in the house, or was there like live music being played, or was there a record player or radio?
So he did have like his old with the vinyls, a vinyl player there, but it wasn't like.
He must have got pissed. When
he got pissed. Yes,
he
would get pissed. And this piano, we got to refurbish it, but he tried teaching me how to play. So my dad, he practiced his trombone there, but he practiced really. At late at night or early in the morning. So he would go to bed at like 2 a.m. and was up by like 5:30. Like he just didn't sleep. And he didn't like anybody to hear him play. But I would always kind of I don't know if he was trying to preserve my own sound, because they knew each of us had our our proclivity for music. But he never taught me music. I thought of him as dad, a military. I thought he was. People would be like, "What does your dad do?" I don't know. He was a military guy. I didn't think of him as a jazz musician. He was just a military guy, but he would practice, and he would always play his trombone. Do, 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 do. But I only heard him do his warm-ups. He didn't play practice any songs or anything. My brother upstairs always played his piano like that. Like, he went to Holy Name before me. He got kicked out of Holy Name. He was 5 years older. So that's like, I went into Holy Name with a chip on my shoulder. Like, some teachers would give me a hard time thinking I'd be a bad kid. He threw a desk across the room at Mr. Marr. And then Mr. Marr in the hallways was nervous, because then I was the big weightlifter. Because my brother was like, he was a fireball. So I was the opposite. I'm like, I'm just be quiet, get my grades, and take it out on the football field and smash. He was like, you know, he didn't play sports at that level, even though he was an elite athlete. He gave it up. But he played his piano upstairs, and my sister ended up becoming a DJ in college, like a famous DJ at Smith College. M. Dot, you know, I always try to copy her. My gamer tag is A.
Smith College in Western Mass?
Yeah, and that's why I went to Amherst College. That's like, because I only learned about Amherst College while visiting her at Smith. Like, I wanted to go Ivy League once I knew I could go to college. Like, I didn't know I was going to college till like junior year of high school, and then all of a sudden, like, you get all A's, you're good, you know. I wanted to go D1, but then I lifted weights and I got slower. Like, I wasn't an elite athlete anymore. Like, when I got to 30 years at 135 pounds, I went to Syracuse football camp. That's where my mom went. I ran a 4.41 electronic after slipping in basketball shoes. I was lightning, and I was like, my mom was so proud of it. 4.41. I remember I pulled it down. I'm like, I'm a 4.2 or 4.3 guy. But then once I lifted weights, I became like a 4.5, 4.6 guy. But I had to, because we had no line and was getting banged. But long story short, brother was playing piano up there. My sister was always listening to a variety of different music. That's why she was a naturally DJ. My dad was always playing a radio with classical music. So the music that was in my head, he played it in that room. He always kept the radio on in the house 24/7. I don't know if that's just like what relaxed him, whatever. So, like, now I'm getting into the music space, and I'm building beats with you. We can talk about that. But the beats that I was building as a little kid were all classical, because that's what I was hearing the most. He always had the radio on. I slept in the other room down in the hall. So yeah, I heard more classical than anything in this household.
So early on, did you see yourself as being like a D1 or D2 football player? Did you have a career in mind when you were younger?
I always wanted to be an elite athlete. I was a dominant sprinter at everything, so I dominated every sports. And that's why like my dad didn't come to games. I would dominate soccer games here, and some of the white parents would say, "Look at that N-word run," and my dad would fucking go ballistic because I was scoring like in Milford. Yeah, I was scoring like 8 goals, 9 goals. Like teams would come, people coming from all around New England. Like I was like, and being on teams, like I was dominant, and my brother was really good at baseball. I was always in the baseball all-stars, but I was never. It wasn't my thing, but soccer was I dominated everything. I thought I was going to go to like Europe and everything. But then when I went to high school, I didn't want to be a skinny guy. Like, kind of like the thicker girls and the curvy girls. So I wanted to play football. So I gave up soccer and started lifting weights in football. So I was wicked skinny freshman year. And then I started lifting weights. And then, so my dreams were always about basketball and soccer. But basketball, I was wicked nervous. And I never had the right shoes. I was sliding around, and all that. I was with cheap older shoes. But and then I got really good at football once I started lifting weights. So, and then I dreamed about football when I was in high school. But before that, it was like soccer. I was a soccer guy.
How did you pick what to study in college? Did you have a passion, or did you do something someone recommended?
So I always focus on how can I make the most money. And my other Auntie May. I met up with her recently, and she said, Anthony, because my mom put me on a bus from Worcester to New York to meet her. She was like a marketing kind of like I don't know. She did something with writing. All the people on my mom's side, all the women are like wicked smart, and like I got cousins that like one cousin Katie, like I going to Thanksgiving with her. She teaches at Oxford now, and like everyone's like either a doctor. All my cousins are. I went to Amherst. My sister got her Ivy League MBA. So we all like we did really well because our parents pushed us. But now I got sidetracked there. Well,
you should start a podcast and just talk to your family.
With May. I could just talk with my family. Everyone's doing like totally different things. Like, but we don't know. I don't talk to them. Our family kind of it's half Irish and half Jamaican.
Show up at their house with all the gear and just be like, "Hey, I'm sleeping over."
Yeah,
and interviewing you.
I could, and like some of them live in Australia. Like my cousins that I grew up with in Thanksgiving, they live everywhere. But I just had May, she said, when I couldn't have been older than like second or third grade. She said, when I stop off that bus, she said, what do you want to do when you get older? And I said, Wall Street banker. So I saw the guys on TV and was like, who's making the money getting the girls? Wall Street guys, that's what I want to do. So I was always going to be, at high school when I was touring colleges, I want to be an econ major, and I was obviously an econ major, but the Wall Street bros, it didn't work out. I work in banking now, but on the operations side, global risk management, but that business side, like, iBanking and stuff. I couldn't, once I got to college and see what those guys were like, I mean, I'm not a bro,
Yeah. Well, I mean, so do you, creatively, you're into, making music and you're creative.
Mm-hmm.
But in your career, it sounds like you're analytical and you're math driven. Did you feel like you had the math down in high school, and were you creative then also?
I think so. My dad was a proclivity for math too. Like he went to college early too, in like the 50s, as a black guy from an orphanage is pretty much unheard of. And then he joined the army early too. So when my mom was, my dad spoke several languages. He lived in Japan, he lived in Germany, he lived in Latin America. He spoke like 4 or 5 languages too. And my mom was the head of 4 languages at Assumption College. So I think music and creativity for me is wicked. I think mathematics is art and creativity. My dad was wicked good at math. My mom was really good at English. And then she didn't really explore her side, but she was good at English and writing. But my dad was a wicked math guy too, who I could talk about my AP Calc and AP Physics homework, and he understood the equations, whereas my mom was like, ugh. But he was a wicked math guy too. Wow. So for me, I think the music that I make, and as we're getting into it, I think music is really scientific, looking at the different cadences, what people's proclivities are. Like if you look at the top 100 songs, like any time in any country, you're going to find patterns there. Like certain beats are preferred, certain instruments are preferred. And to me, that's all science and analytics. So people think of it sometimes as being contrast. I think it's more, they go hand in hand and go together.
Did you have any random jobs when you were younger?
Oh yeah, a ton, yeah. So my grandparents owned an oil company, Harris Oil. It's defunct now. So I would be doing Harris Oil deliveries, and to really help the business, I was the star athlete in town. And so my grandfather would take me, even though I wouldn't do the work sometime, because some of the kids I worked on, their parents got oil through us, and if they saw their grandson, their son is friends with the grandson of the owner of the business, they should keep paying a little bit more for this small oil company because I'm going to be friends with it helps the team. It helps everything. Gesticulating a little bit too much there. But yeah, so I worked with the oil company, and we had that's one thing. So going on the oil trucks, the deliveries, cleaning the trucks, cleaning the basements, and talking to the customers. And then we also had a tree selling business. So my grandfather, he would go to Canada, buy a bunch of trees, and we would sell Christmas trees right up there on their land too. So I was a salesman as a young kid, but I was a wicked hustler. And like hustling people out of baseball cards, football cards. Like, yo, I just wouldn't stop. Like I was gonna be a bro, but I didn't like who I was becoming. So I went away from that sales route, and I worked at a church, St. Mark's Church, being like a janitor and working at my uncle's factory. So more like a whole host of factory and like manual labor jobs.
Did you go to college right after high school?
I did, yeah.
And you just went through 4 years or 3 years? Or...
All four, yep.
And then what was your first job outside of college, like an internship or?
So I didn't even intern in college, so I was just like a full-time athlete, a full-time party guy. I remember my childhood more than I remember Amherst College because I partied so hard. Like I hate to say it, but I used to wake up in hospitals all the time. Like that's why I don't drink anymore. I was a heavy drinker. I just couldn't stop, and I had all the childhood trauma that I've addressed it and worked through it now. But so the first job out of college wasn't a great one. I went to account temps, and I worked at an insurance company on Highland Street there, making $10 an hour as a quality control analyst. Yeah, so it wasn't anything glamorous, but I got to learn Excel and get my hands dirty on data, and then from there payroll accounting, from there banking, and from there compliance and banking. Now I do global risk management and banking.
What is global risk management and banking?
So like it's very similar to compliance. It's just making sure we follow the laws, rules, and regs that that are designed by the regulators, etc. And just making sure we design we follow and adhere to all the policies, etc. And there's a big spotlight on risk, like there's spotlights on us right now. Like, but because remember the '08 financial crisis? Because with the credit debt obligations and the real estate crash, because they leveraged the real estate market through CDOs, these credit debt obligations that allowed investors to invest in these portfolios, and these banks like Bear Stearns and all this stuff, they couldn't answer when regulators came in and said, "What is your exposure to this crashing housing market?" They couldn't say. So you've got billions and trillions of dollars, like not trillions, but billions of dollars invested, and you can't immediately tell us. So the whole reason why risk is really hot industry right now, not only because with the data quality concerns, but so risk can quickly identify to make sure they got the liquid assets to account for their liabilities, right? And to make sure the data is quality data to make sound business decisions, etc. So because that '08 crash, there was a big a spotlight on risk. In data specifically within risk.
So how does data get pulled? Is it pulled from the banks that are all around the country or the world, or is data pulled from the people who are using products at the bank?
So it can data's from everywhere. We get it from external sources, like we got Bloomberg data coming in, and then we got people manually entering like our customers. Like so, you have to have the KYC data, know your customers, and the AML, anti-money laundering data. And so people are entering it, we're pulling it in, we're creating it, we're transforming it, and it all needs to be, quality data, or it can't be trusted. So that's why risk is like a really viable.
And who do you have to convince that you're trusted? The government or
so like
investors?
the Fed, the OCC, the various regulators, they come in and there's various attestations. Like, so one of the main attestations I worked on was FY14, like FR space financial reporting space Y-14. So it's a capital adequacy and stress testing attestation. So capital adequacy, making sure you have enough assets to cover your liabilities. There's a 2052A test. There's a whole slew of regulatory reports, but just making sure you have assets to cover your liabilities and like various other attestations that are aligned with like various regulations that came out, like the RDA, risk data aggregation attestation, because that data is used to make business decisions, RDA. So they want to make sure that that's quality data. So there's attestations to that, etc. So any data that executives are using to make business decisions, it needs to be quality data. So there's attestations around that.
Do you think kids and schools should be taught like liabilities, assets?
Absolutely.
Risk, management of funds?
Yeah, I think our whole schooling system, like what is our takeaway from like our history books? Like they're constantly changing and removing things. Trump's hiring people to remove certain things from like, the African American Museum, which is just ridiculous, absolutely preposterous. But I never trusted books. That's why I never really studied that hard. Talking with my mother, I would be like, who owns, like, she told me about publishing companies, etc. Because I asked her, I wasn't just lazy with books naturally. I was like, who is writing this information? And I understood, like, the biases, like, you know, whoever they get to, whoever publishes the books gets to control the information. So that's why I never was big into, like, studying these history books. I'm like talking to my dad and learning how inaccurate some of these things are. So why would I go to school and try my hardest to learn this stuff that I know is bad quality inherently? So, but yeah, so the whole schooling system, we should be taught how to do taxes, how to get a job after work, how to potentially be an influencer, a gamer, like, you know, how to deal with trauma. Like, these classes aren't taught, and I think they should all be standard. So that's my take.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always think that, you know, what should I try to teach my kids versus what school's teaching them?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, maybe I don't even know how to teach them that, you know?
Exactly. Like, and I learned, like, what we learned, like, when my dad was telling me about the civil rights movement and all these things, it directly contradicted with what some of these books were saying, you know, and slavery, etc. You know, he started to teach me. I learned more in Amherst College, like, how Africans participated in the slave trade. Like, Europeans would come and they would, look, we'll sell you these guns if you can go capture your other tribes and give us slaves. We'll give you money and guns and whatever you want. And the other, you know, tribes were doing it, so a lot of tribes were forced into it. So he was telling me about how the role Africans played, and like about colonialism, and like all that stuff, and just it's just how bad it was. Like, these empires like taking over these lands for their resources and things. Like, so I was being told how bad it was. He wasn't trying to indoctrinate me or anything. Like, I'm not saying anything like that. Or trying to make me be like for the power or for the man or anything like that. But he was like, make sure you're aware of this stuff. So we would always watch the History Channel and things like that. That gave us a more broader view. And my mom would buy me history books and tell me stories about things, and where the information in the books I was reading in school contradicted what actually happened. And as you can see, if whoever controls the information controls the narrative. And it's like, you can just be watching some of these presidential debates and everything. People can say, no, we're being maximum transparent. Everything's transparent. The files are transparent. Like, you're just saying that, but it's not. That's not what's happening, you know? So I always try to do my studying outside of the normal, you know, education route, you know? I try to be an autodidact and teach myself.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I was thinking, like, how to treat my kids as they get older and they're in the school. They're going to obviously be involved with technology way more than we were.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to, like, shelter them, put them in the basement with an encyclopedia and regular Nintendo, and just like, oh, there is no internet, you know what I mean? But you can't. And so it's like, all right, they're going to have passions every year, something different. What's the harm in being like, yeah, school's important, you know, try to learn this stuff, but, oh, you really love game development? Why don't you focus on that 20 hours a week?
Yeah.
And grow your knowledge through that application. But you probably are going to find it useful to learn what's going on in school too, because you're going to have some math, some history, some technology, sociology, I don't know, maybe religion. But then, you know, I don't know if it's Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, but I could get in this wrong. I haven't read their biography in a long time, but having a knowledge of a lot of different things is going to help you with a specific task. Like, if you only study calculus, you're going to have a hard time applying it, or you're going to really know calculus, but you're not going to see where other people are looking at calculus from, because you're not going to have like that grounded, and you might not get a creative or game-changing idea of calculus if you didn't study, you know, the stars, because you might be studying the stars and then you're going to apply a method to calculus and maybe you'll come up with a new idea.
Absolutely, and that diversification of thought, and that's why I think diversity is such a good thing, and companies do too. It's proven. Companies like that have more diversity, you're able to think more critically and outside the box more, because you're getting a different vantage point. So I totally agree with you.
Do you have a journal from when you were younger?
I remember I would write a diary periodically, but I stopped that maybe sometime in middle school, maybe like 2nd or 3rd grade, maybe a little later than that, because I was like, what? I never would go back and read it. It was more therapeutic just writing it down. I was like, I can't even read my notes. My handwriting was so bad. It was El Chicken Scratcho. But But my mom, my parents knew I had a proclivity for music, so she would buy me those little recorders, like not what would you call them, like
Talk Boy? Or,
yeah.
Like
So
handheld?
I was recording in my beats even like since like second or third grade. She would buy me those things and all the little tapes that went in there. I was like, whenever I got like a unique rhythm or melody in my head, I would just capture it on that. So it wasn't so much my thoughts. I would sometimes, but all the unique beats. But those must be lost. But I know I was coming up with some bangers.
Why can't that be in fourth grade? You know, like broadcasting class.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe
like,
some schools have that, or you could do that at home.
Some schools do, but like it needs to be more like the kids the schools that do have it, the kids that have that inclination, probably from a parent showing them. So it's a small like club or something, but it should be a standard class that's taught. I truly believe that. And one thing on like the curriculum of being taught, like you realize how outdated our education is, and you realize the people that have connections and like systemic things and how important that is, because the people that are getting these jobs that are with skill sets that are very outside of what being taught in schools, they have parents or people outside of schools that show them. They're going and playing golf with the guy's uncle. So they have our curriculum in schools being divorced from the skills needed to really succeed in today's workforce. It really is, it's accelerating the gap between the higher class and lower class. It's harder for us to get these jobs because some of these kids, their parents work in these spaces already, so it's easier for them to get in because their parents are showing them the way. Whereas, with technology and things like that, so the poorer kids are even a more disadvantaged because they're not being taught it in the schools and they have no exposure to it. So I'm highly sensitive to this because I've always paid attention. I've tried to be as observant as possible.
And it's almost better to teach those kids like, hey, you need to find an in somewhere. Like it's not as important about being the best you can be at this because you need to do 50% of exploratory relationship building and mentorship so that you can get into that conversation with the right people so that you can be successful because you're already great at it, but you're not going to be known as a great person for that subject or that career unless you're involved with the right people.
Exactly. And then for kids to even know what they want to do, they need that diversity of curriculum and everything so they can see, I like this, I'm good at this, or maybe I'm not good at this, but I want to be. But we're not teaching these kids and showing them and putting them in a position where they can even decide what they want to do so they can make decisions to help them out. So we really need to, I'm really a big proponent of civic programs that expose kids to these different programs.
Mandatory mentorships from kindergarten to 12th grade. Every year, every student.
I would be on board with that. That's a hell of an idea, man. Yeah.
Mandatory mentorships. You
spend...
MM.
Yeah.
A month or 3 weeks away from school, just following
Rich
mentorship.
Please stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you. That's
no
right
kids
there.
are going to come follow me. They're going to be like, this is what adult life is
bro,
like?
with that mustache, I don't give a... I would listen to at least what you had to say initially with that mustache. You would draw me in immediately.
I'm going to say, do what I say, not what I do. You're be like, this adult is doing what he's playing video games in the basement right now.
No, with the curly mustache, I would have kept an eye on you, but you definitely would have got my attention. I don't know, I was always drawn to characters, something new. I was always drawn to diversity, because the half black guy, with the age gap of 20 years between the Irish mom and the Jamaican dad. I'm kind of drawn to diversity naturally. I don't know, what do you want from me?
Did you ever do any type of theater or acting?
I definitely had the passion for it as a kid, but I think I had some. So I know that I served as a ring boy in marriages and stuff. So people would I was effusive and
like you were saying earlier, ring boy, fetch me my ring.
No, but putting
not
in that way. But putting the flair on it and speaking and stuff, and I was definitely doing impressions and stuff. I remember somebody This was bad, but one of my aunts or something had me do the Gary Coleman impression. What you talking about, Willis? I love doing impressions, being proud. So, but I think because of childhood trauma, I really closed and got quiet. And now I'm retreating to this space. So it's not like I'm learning it new. And my dad, although he was military, kind of hardcore and everything, he was effusive and demonstrative as well. And my mom was as well. And so we always were watching HBO shows and movies and And, I was going to see my dad perform and seeing some of the best musicians in the world. They were coming traveling here, like Jimmy Heath, etc. Jimmy Heath was my dad's best man at his wedding. So I was exposed to that, but I think childhood trauma pushed me
You were
away.
at your dad's wedding?
No. So when
before you were born.
So the picture.
He didn't get remarried or something.
My parents stayed together their whole time.
You're just talking about a story they told you about.
Yeah, because I saw the picture on that John Coltrane. In the corner of that picture is a picture. We can put it in whatever. But it's my dad, my mom, and Jimmy Heath. So I'm like, whoa, no wonder why I'm so close with Jimmy Heath. Whenever he would call, he was always wicked cool. He just was a wicked awesome guy. Always knew my football stats and everything. Nice. And one thing people would ask me, is a funny story quick. Who's your favorite jazz musician? Obviously, come on, Curtis Fuller, Curtis Dubois. But if I can't say Curtis Dubois, it would have to be Jimmy Heath. Because at my dad's jazz master ceremony, I remember Jimmy Heath would come in here sometimes, and my dad, his famous thing, because my dad was jacked, you know what I'm talking about? So he would hold up his arm.
I was picturing your dad looking like Miles Davis.
My
like
dad
a short,
was cool,
smaller guy. No, he's jacked.
He was more hardcore.
I cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, he was more hardcore. He wasn't a big guy, but like his arms were like iron. Like the guy said he could grab a dime off a DAC board, and he beat Jesse Owens, one of the fastest people in the world, and hit home runs like after partying in Europe, just coming and like somebody had to. He didn't like say, let me pursue baseball.
Bro,
Someone
you're
said,
like describing yourself right now, but continue on.
I hope so. No, he was to another level. I was, but he stayed skinny. Like as a skinny athlete, I was dominant. But I was never. I could dunk in between 8th grade and 9th grade. Some people don't want to believe me. Of course, I didn't grow. I stayed. So at 5'10", 130 pounds, I was jumping through the roof. I was at the Syracuse football camp. I was dunking and stuff. I was the shortest kid doing it. But so he would hold up his arm, and I would do pull-ups. We would work out all the time in this room. We would put on the TV, with the white ladies crew like hosting the classes. Kick. We would put that on, and we would do our work because like my brother and sister would be at school, so it would be me and him. And my mother worked in Boston I think she was like a executive assistant or something for some bank like Fidelity, something, or Shawmut Bank. And so we would do our workouts here. So he would hold his arm up and I would do pull-ups, and Jimmy Heath would watch us. But then, so I hadn't seen Jimmy Heath since a child. So at the Jazz Masters, it's kind of like the Hall of Fame for jazz. My dad got indicted or whatever, accepted in like when I was a junior or senior at Amherst. And so when I went there, I was wicked shy. Like all these world famous people, like they all knew who my dad was. But Jimmy Heath came up and he's like, Curtis, this is your son, this stud, this 6-foot stud. Because Jimmy Heath is only like 5'3". So he's like, damn, homie. Like, and he was gassing me up. He took me by the arm and was walking me. He paraded me around the Jazz Master ceremony. Like, yo, check out Fuller's kid. It like, I had like world famous lady musicians looking at me. Everyone was like, yo. But then it all came crumbling down. People were like, so what do you do with music? You're Curtis Fuller's son. I'm like, I play football at Amherst College. I don't know. But like, he was parading me around, like he gassed me up. So Jimmy Heath would be my favorite if I can't say Curtis Dubois. Awesome. Just because like that moment like was so cool having him parade me around.
Did you remember it fondly? Thank moments you, in jazz like at a club when you were younger? Would you go see shows?
The only I saw like only a few. Billy came to one of them, and I remember it was so loud I didn't like to go because like he played hard bop. Like it's not like low key jazz, and when you hear it live. This like when you see like Louis Armstrong's and their cheeks exploding, a lot of these guys were like they had natural advantages, like either expansive lungs or like dad was one of the world's like fastest people and like incredibly like best athletes, 5'8" guy grabbing a dime off the backboard. I'm like, damn, homie. But at the same time, I'm like, I can only dunk. I could touch the top of the square, but not the top. But at the same time, I never ran a 9.900 meters, so maybe he could have. But
jazz shows.
Yeah, so these like his lungs were so powerful. He would explode on that horn, and as a little kid, it hurt my ears so much.
Oh, it's so very loud.
Then I always thought of him as a military guy. But yeah, going to his hard bop legend shows is gonna hurt your ears.
I don't know if it's still open, but there was a famous jazz club in Boston that played jazz every single night, or music every night.
He did some things in Boston I remember going to, but I don't remember where. But I remember going to Boston sometimes to see him play.
I know he was in the military. Would he do shows? Like, would he have to leave for a day to go do shows in Boston, like paid gigs, or was he more retired when you were born?
No, he still was traveling. So he was traveling, so he would be gone for months at a time sometimes. Wow. So it would just be my mom, and we'd give her hell. And when he was coming home, she would say, "The party's over," because she's gonna tell old Kurt Dog everything we did, and that hammer was coming down. So she would say the last 2 days before he's coming home, "The party's over." Oh, and she'd be doing a little crazy Irish laugh. It's also funny. I watched 28 Years Later last night and see the bond between the kid and the mom. I guess with the Irish kids and the mom, like we had a very unique relationship. She was the friggin' best, man. But so he would be traveling for months at a time. So when I was in second grade, he had terminal lung cancer, and he should have had VA care. He served in the Korean War and was in and he did the guard. What is it called? Like National Guard. He did that for like 10 years or so. So he should have had lifetime coverage or whatever. But he had lung cancer, and he probably got it from like being all these like equipment and everything, using asbestos and all this. But they didn't. Oh yeah, and everyone clubbed. But he wasn't a smoker, but like secondhand definitely as well. But they didn't give him coverage, so we had to take out a loan on this house that we're still paying for now. So you get to see like how, because he joined the military early, I think he used his sister's birthday. He wanted to join at 16. Like guys would do that back then. Like that's why you would look at me sometimes, you lazy mother. Like I wasn't going to fight wars at 16. Get the hell out of here. But he was in an orphanage. He wanted to get out, and there was a jazz band. A lot of the famous guys were in that band, and that was his opportunity. Like he had to pave his own way. There was nobody was showing him this, but so that's why he joined the army early. But jeez, I lose track of that. These Starbucks coffees really get you going. Whew.
Starbucks sponsor us.
Yeah, but yeah, he was in the military, so he sponsor us. They're probably like, this is the anti-sponsorship. Kids, don't drink coffee. But this is all I do. He didn't perform for a few years after he had that terminal. Like they had a priest come in and read him his rights on the deathbed. So he survived by a miracle. They removed one of his lungs because it was starting to metastasize or spread. But they were like, let's remove a lung, and that's the best we can do. So they removed the lung because we took out a loan in the house. They wouldn't cover it, and then it just the cancer was gone. I don't even think he did chemo or anything, and then it never came back. And then he took maybe like not long. Like he was right back on the road right after that. But a funny story: the day he came home, when he had his oxygen tank and his mask and everything, I was like, yo, Dad is old now. Like I was a rough kid, and like my mom and dad had to discipline me like physically too. And so I was like, yo, I was like, Dad's old. He's got an oxygen tank. So I was standing and fucking around excuse my language there, in the kitchen there.
We can swear, fuck, shit,
everything. I got you. I try not to. But so this is the day he came home from getting cancer lung removal after having a priest read him his rights on his hospital bed. They removed the lung, and eventually they said it looked like his lung grew back because he was performing immediately. But he's like, stop jumping around, and I'm like, you're tied up to a tank, you can't do nothing. Like, and my mom was like, see what it's like when you're not here, that motherfucker. So he started chasing me around through the house with the oxygen tank, and I had to run outside. And I remember I got to this corner of the house. He came flying around. He came flying out that house. He's in his like mid-60s after he's got like diabetes, a whole list of things. And he was running. I got to see what real Jamaican sprinting was because I was a speed demon myself. So I was here. He was running out of that door. He caught me. I remember I was running around that house. I was running around the house there. And this is a funny story he would tell his jazz friends. And I looked back and he was about to grab me. He grabbed my shirt, and then I hit the turbo boosters, ran down the street to my friend's house all the way. I swear to God, if you would measured my 800-meter dash, it had to have been one of the fastest times for a little kid. I'm running away from a former world sprinter. But he would tell the story. He just kept getting smaller and smaller, and that's how he described it. But I'm like, had he caught me, my health bar would have been getting smaller and smaller. I'll tell you that. Woo!
Did he grow up in this house too?
They moved here, so they had my brother. He's 5 years older than me, so I believe he was born in either 82, and he was born in New York. And then my grandmother that convinced my mom to come back because she didn't want her daughter raised in a biracial family in the 80s. It was they were getting pulled over at gunpoint by cops and stuff. They had to driving to gigs, they couldn't drive through certain states, and they would laugh at me. I'm like, what's the state like? They're like, we wouldn't drive through Mississippi and everything. If we had to go to Florida, they would drive around, and they would laugh and make fun of me. Like, kid, you better learn what race is like in this country fast. And so, yeah.
Because your dad's, you said Jamaican?
But he was predominantly Jamaican and African. We did the test, but he always thought he was all Jamaican, but there was a lot of African there.
And what is your nationality? Is your mom?
Predominantly Irish and also English.
Okay, so they met. They
met at UMass. So they lived in New York. They had my brother, and then my grandmother convinced them to move to Massachusetts. I'll give you this house calf here in Millbury if you move back. And so they moved back and had my sister a year after my brother, and then they had me 4 years after my sister.
Oh, okay.
So he was they lived in New York for a few years, and they met at UMass Amherst. My mom was visiting one of her siblings there, like a concert. My dad was performing at UMass, and they met there, and I think she jumped right on his tour bus, and that was that.
So, black guy, Boston accent. When
Yeah.
did that start?
Black guy, Boston accent, that's the name of my social media profiles that I'm running with. That started, my sister hosts Thanksgiving every year in New York. Like, she pulls in all the strays. So anyone who doesn't have any place to go, she hosts it there. So I would fly in, and one of her girlfriends, that she met in like business school or something, she's like, whoa, she heard me talking. She's like, she was just looking at me, kind of like laughing and everything. And she goes, whoa, I gotta say, I've never heard a black guy with a Boston accent before. And like, they were all like, yeah, and I didn't realize how bad and plus I was drinking too. So when I drink, it becomes even more pronounced. So, and they were like, that's crazy. I've never heard a black guy with a Boston accent. And I can't think of any, can you think of any like famous black guys with a Boston accent? I really couldn't. So I was like, that's gonna be my sticking point, my shtick. It's not. I'm more of a Worcester accent. My mother would say. Like,
Yeah,
Boston is more obnoxious. I'm not gonna pronounce my I's, but I'm not gonna be obnoxious at the same time.
Was there what were you calling yourself something else before that? Just your name?
Oh, I think it was calling my name like A. Fully, because my sister, I always try to copy her. Like my dad copied my sister, his sister learning music. So her DJ name was M. So I call myself A. because Mary Fuller M. and Anthony A. So that was my name before, but and that's my gamer tag. Cause I'm always trying to copy her and be like her. My mom was like, "Who do you want to be like, your sister or your brother?" So I was like Bobby because she's the superstar. Even though my brother was acting up a little bit, but so A. was my former name, but black guy Boston accent sticks.
What? Growing up, did you play a lot of games? How did you get into gaming?
So my dad lived in Japan for a couple of years, and like he was big over there. So he was hip to technology. In his household, we always had the latest gizmos and gadgets, and he would always buy us the systems. So we always had the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD, and whatever. Whenever they came out, we bought them immediately. So and my dad would be playing them in there too. And when the new system came out, when Sega Genesis came out. Because my brother and sister had that upstairs. They had their room upstairs. I would get the Super Nintendo. So the Super Nintendo came downstairs. So then when I, all the hand-me-downs. So I'd be playing in there. Me and my dad would play. And it was so funny when that man would play Super Mario. We would all laugh at him. Whenever he had to jump, the one where you jump from the castle and you jump with the flag at the end? The old one, just Mario.
Yeah.
Whenever you had to jump, he would actually, he would jump. And we would laugh. And he did not think it was funny. But it was the funniest thing in the world to watch him play Mario be jumping. I remember I'd be laughing like that. And then he'd put the controller down and shut it off. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Oh my God.
What are you playing now for games?
Oh yeah, but that was how I, the nascent stages, early stages of my life, I began gaming because we had it, and I gamed all the way through, and I always was like the best. So I would buy the Mortal Kombat books, and I would memorize all I was the one that dominated everybody, and then
how do I do a fatality for saying
the fatality, the babalities. I knew how to do all. I love memorizing all that stuff. My mom would take me to Barnes and Noble to get me to read. To be like my sister, and with the books I would get Mortal Kombat books and magic books. I used to be big into magic, but then I was like, I don't want to be known as a shyster. People were like, yo, you're a shyster, because I like deceiving people, so I gave that away. But so memorizing the game magazines and stuff, and then I got into computer games. Me and Prof in high school. So high school I wasn't talking to everybody. I was daydreaming about playing StarCraft, and I beat some of the best StarCraft players of all time, Red Nada, Oops Reach. I beat these guys, like a half black guy in Millbury beating these Korean guys. So I've always been a game fanatic, and was one of the top 100 in Madden. Won a Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3. A Moab is 25 kills in a row, a Moab or a nuke. I got thousands of nukes in Modern Warfare 3 right upstairs when my dad was still living here. With jazz people coming, I'd be upstairs screaming and yelling, dropping Moab. So I always played at an extremely high level. It was always like top, like beating pro gamers and streamers top. It's always been a part of my life. I still play Call of Duty now.
What do you see for Black Guy Boston accent? You do music, comedy, a mix of both?
Mix of both. I started with comedy because music, it was a learning curve. But once I connected with you, because Billy's my best friend, the guy you just did the last podcast with. I can't speak highly enough of that guy. He's the smartest. he's an insane freak. Me and him learned fitness together. Like he's like 148 pounds and benches 315 for like 5 reps. Like I got up to be 248 or maybe like 200 right now, but I was never benching any like as much as he could. He's a freak. But oh my god, I get off track. But yeah, I gotta make sure we give Billy his kudos. Like he's an awesome guy. The guy who just did a lot of podcasts with. But would you mind reading?
He helped define your story, like with Black Guy Boston accent.
Well, he with everything. Like is that what we were talking about? You saying where I got the name, or like I'm trying to remember like your last.
What do you see? What do you kind of?
Oh, with comedy, with
yeah.
Oh, how? Okay, so I was talking about Billy. So your name started. Your profile was like a suggested profile. And I don't even know how, because were you connected to his profile or not? Like
I think so.
Oh, okay, because you must have been connected to him or some of the Holy Name friends. So I saw your name like a year ago, and I wanted to do comedy and music, and you're the one who introduced me to the Suno app, SUNO. In that app, I come up with unique melodies. I just hum these melodies in, and I modify the prompts. Like it's very extremely simple. I'm doing minimal work, but I'm bringing my music ideas to fruition much faster. I thought there was gonna be a huge learning curve having to learn all this stuff. Like some of the music equipment you tried to show me in the other room. I'm like, ugh. Like I remember like doing that to my mom and dad. Ugh. Like the Cowardly Lion. If I only had the knife. Like when that would be their take on technology, and that's how kind of I am too. I get intimidated. But with Suno, you just hum it right in, and it's spitting out fire beats. So now, you just showed me that like 2 months ago. I switched from being comedy focused to now music focused, because some of these beats are fire, are they not? And we're gonna drop some vocals down. Like he's like, absolutely, wink, wink. But like, no, now seeing the quality of the output from my Suno songs, it's like I think my path to success or potential success is gonna be through music rather than comedy. But comedy was easy to do. I could just record myself. But with Suno, it's simplified the process. So now I'm more focused on music because it's so simple. Today, fácil.
Do you incorporate that into like your? So were you doing stuff like this before recently, or is this all new?
Interesting. So when I got my iPhone in like 2018 or so, and it had the voice memos app. I don't know how, but at some point I discovered the animojis. The iPhone animojis?
Yeah.
So I didn't even know. I had the phone for like a year or two. When somebody showed me that, I'm like, yo. So I have a whole other profile with like 500 or 600 animojis. Have you looked at that one too?
I have, yeah.
So with it's got this animated picture of an animal, and with me talking, and I would do the different voices to match. I would have the lion, the tiger, like the ghost, like and the dragon. So that got me into like to all my friends, I would come up with ideas and would send them. So that I just started posting those to a social media profile, and then I progressed to showing myself and recording myself, and then now I'm progressing to music, etc. So that's kind of been my progression with social media.
Awesome. You have any questions for me?
Oh, but yeah, I definitely do. So I met your profile showed up, so it was so serendipitous. Do my connection with Billy, and it's like how funny and how serendipitous, or like how oddly things can work out in your favor by chance, unintentionally. Like that's what I think of the word serendipity. Is that I met with you and you showed me this app, and now I'm taking music like further. So I like to think of all the people in my life that have impacted me, and I'm like, and I stop and think, and how grateful I am. Just even this experience. It's like it wouldn't be possible throughout my interactions with other people. So the diversification of thought and everything, like that's how I've accomplished anything in my life, is through partnering and working with others. Do you
gravitate towards more hip hop, classical music now? Like, what do you like to listen to?
So in the last year or two, I was recording my ideas. So 2018, I started recording the animojis, and then I found the voice memos app on the phone. I started recording my melodies. So what I produced on Suno within the last 2 months is just off the top. But I've got thousands. I think I got like a total of 4,000 or 5,000 ideas. So I would just throughout the day I would think of a unique melody. I would hear like a bit, like a dish drop, and I'd be like, oh, if I do, and like continue on with it. I would record the melody. Like one day I'll come back and make this a song. And now with Suno, I'm gonna start plugging in those things into music to come back into it. So I've been doing it for since 2019, recording my ideas. But even in high school, Holy Name, I would be freestyling throughout and freestyle battling with Rodrigo or some of the other black kids in the class. Like that, rather than focus on the material, I was freestyling and everything. As I learned a new word, I don't even know. I got an example, but gametes. It's half your a gamete is another word for your sperm, and it has half your chromosomes. So when I learned that in science class, I would be like, yo, I put my gametes on your girl's face, ask her how half my chromosome count tastes. That's like, I would come up with bars like that in high school. I remember that. So like, I was always freestyling. When I learned something new, I like to interpolate it or insert it into like my creative, focus.
You do have a very large vocabulary. The couple times we talked before we came to do this, I was like, this guy's got vocabulary for days.
You want to know quickly how I got that? Because I sucked at English was not my thing in high school. So my mom made sure she didn't buy me a car. She would drive me. So we would play a game as a little kid. She would give me $5 if you could find a word in the dictionary she didn't know. All she did was smash books. All I did was to smash. Like, she would smash a book a day. And she was the head of foreign languages at Assumption College. Like, gotta be like people from around the world like would call in to ask her how to interpret like Shakespearean novels, and she could write. And I couldn't understand what she was saying or writing. So she would, on my car ride to Holy Name, she would be like, Anthony, what does serendipity mean? I'm like, I don't freaking know. And she would be like, she would use analogies to teach me. Like I was saying, I watched 28 Years Later, the unique relationship that Irish moms have. She had a droll sense of humor, and I suppose I do too. But she would teach me vocabulary words. So that's how by her driving me, otherwise I wouldn't have learned. Like, she saw I was so lazy or my efforts were perfunctory, But and then one analogy I'll just give you real quick is when if I'll try to read something, I didn't understand it. I would be like, Mom, what's this word mean? I'd be in my room yelling. I was so lazy, rather than go up and ask her, I would yell what the word means. And my dad could hear. He was sitting in here. My mom's room was in between us, and I was on the porch. I remember one time, like, she did not miss an opportunity to slam dunk on my dad. I was like, Mom, what does irascible mean? I'm like, because I didn't know what it meant, and rather than look it up, like, she wanted to teach me to look it up. Like, but just tell me what it means. And like, she wasn't a couple of words before that, she wasn't answering me, and I'd look it up. But irascible, I'm like, Mom, what does this mean? And then she came storming out of her room and goes, your father and your grandfather are irascible. And then he went off like, I'm irascible, all right. It means just kind of like ornery, or like, you have like a bad attitude or something. But like, I remember and I was like, oh my God, my dad probably thought I did that on purpose. We set that up. But like, she was so quick. She could dunk your dad, and I'll never forget that word. Your father and your grandfather are irascible. She was joking, but like, she didn't miss a beat like that. Like, that's kind of the relationship we had.
Are you an avid reader?
I've always read articles and things like that, but not novels. I'm more of a nonfiction guy. But I prefer sci-fi and film. But I don't like read.
I love sci-fi. What are some of your top 5 sci-fi movies?
Oh, gotta be Interstellar up there. Oh, Matrix has gotta be number 1, right? Because I remember you and Billy talking about this being a simulation. As I've gotten older, I'm way more open or amenable to that idea. I was like, come on, there's obviously evolution and everything, but like, we're just born when technology is popping off. Like, come on, like, and all these things, and there's so many. I've had so many potentially ethereal events, and there's so many coincidences. I'm like, come on, like, I really don't think everything's just a coincidence. I really don't and I only started thinking like this a year or two ago, but I'm like really open to spirituality now and things like that. But so sci-fi, Matrix number 1, Interstellar's got to be up there. I remember Minority Report. Do you remember Minority Report?
I don't, but I watched it, but I don't remember what it is. Oh my God. Tom Cruise in it?
Yes, Tom Cruise. So he's got to be like one of my top favorite actors of all time. I know my family, they don't like him or something. Like, my sister's like, oh, I don't like that Tom Cruise. I'm like, come on, everything. He's like, I want the truth. You can't handle every role Tom Cruise does, he smashes it. I don't care. I know Scientology is weird, but Minority Report was just as like around me and Prof. My other best friend, so you got to do a series with him too, because he went to Holy Name. Do you remember him as well too?
I do. He was friends with my sister.
Yeah, he was, and then we hang out in that friend group. Yeah, but we would go and see movies, and we went to see Minority Report, and my mind was freaking blown when that. So do you remember the premise?
I'm gonna go.
Oh my God, that was a game changer movie. I was like, whoa, but like, yeah, that was way ahead of its time, just like Matrix was. But yeah, so that would be up there. And there's so many more. Like, those would be the first top 3. The top 4 and 5 spots are probably open. But yeah, I like history pieces as well. I've always liked my history. Like I told you, I like Greek mythology, like Samson and Delilah, Ben-Hur.
I like history.
And things like that.
It's like a hobby.
Love those, like King Henry's and all those. I love those. And like things like Beowulf and everything. I remember my mom, she's like, you should do an essay on Beowulf to get into college at Amherst College. That's what I did. So
I had to read that book too at some point.
Oh yeah, so I did that of my own volition to get into Amherst College. Like, and I told you ethereal events and things like that. So when my mom was dying, there was a lot of like she moved with my grandfather down the street just because like that house it was like it was more accessible, and she had like a bed and everything, and she was getting ready to die with cancer, like, you know, right before she knocked out. Unfortunately, it was awful. But I remember I went to go walk in the woods back there, and I was walking into an area that was formerly, we called it the clearing. And I'm walking through the clearing. I'm like, yo, this is all growing in. And now it's all growing. You would never know that was cleared out. It was the gun range. And it was all bullets. You could go and find people go up there to just fire off their gun. And I'm walking up there, and out of the corner of my eye, maybe from where me to where that camera is, there's a wolf standing there looking at me. And I grabbed a rock and charged that thing and almost ran off a cliff. I was like so not in the mood to be dealing with a grown male wolf. And like, I was like, and then looking back at that, I'm like, well, no wonder why my mom was like, Beowulf, this is you, Anthony, you know, and I ended up running and charging at wolves, and I ran away. But that's just a little story I had, like little things like that. And I'm like, right as my mom's dying and I'm coming into my, you know, adulthood, like the 28 years later, like they juxtapose the mother dying with the birth of a new child. So I'm big into that, you know. So that movie really resonated with me.
Awesome.
I ramble, bro. You should feel bad for Billy. Like, you know, our childhood was all like this. AOL chat rooms, I was going bananas.
No, it's all good.
But so how about you? How did you get into this space? Because I want to learn this as well. Because as I'm getting into comedy and music, like, what are your proclivities and like, what led you to this space? Because I've tried to give a rough background of myself and how I got into the space. But how about yourself? Because your journey is unique as well.
Well, I was always told that I should be on ADHD medication. I had way too much energy as a kid. Actually, the impression my family used to make me do was Steve Urkel.
Okay.
So, like, I was a Steve Urkel guy. All day, all night, loved Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
And then
I got that a lot as a kid, too.
In 6th grade, I had a great teacher who, instead of, like, telling me to stop, she told me to go. And she got me passed to go to the Worcester Art Museum and write about the art there. And then my article got put in the paper.
Oh, shoot.
So it was like taking someone's energy and like directing it for something good.
Yeah.
You know? And ever since then, I was kind of like changed. Mm-hmm. And then in 7th grade, 6th grade at St. Mary's, my sisters were doing an after-school play, and I had to wait for them to take the bus. Mm-hmm. And the teacher, Joanne Warren, on Grafton Street, Joanne Warren Studio, she was the director, and she kept making me be a filler in the performance, in the play. It's like dancing and singing.
But yeah. My dad would make that joke at dinner. I would say, I'm full. He'd go, no, you're not. You're fuller. I'm sorry. He would make that joke every freaking day. And it's like, because I was really skinny as a kid. But I make that joke now that I'm older.
I don't know how she got me involved so much. But by the end of the thing, I was singing, dancing, acting, performing. And then she invited me to do a summer camp, which she said, it's like theater and acting still.
Like, what age?
So this was 6th grade to 7th grade, the summer.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually, the first, she's like, can you fill in for a dancer who broke his arm? And I was like, I don't dance. She goes, no, it's just, you're just going to do a cartwheel and we'll run around. She's, you know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, I could do it. And then I walk into the dance studio and there's just like 30 girls in leotards. And I'm like, whoa.
Yo,
I'm uncomfortable.
Well, that was a gold mine back then.
She's
if I could go back, I'd be doing some theater.
She's like, all right, Rich, when the music comes on, I just want you to run and do a cartwheel. Yeah. I didn't know how to do a cartwheel, so I just ran and tried to, and I just crashed into the room, and everyone's like, yeah. But anyways, I filled in for this kid and went to a dance competition. It's like a woods, y'all. And then she invited me to do the summer camp, and I was kind of like, I don't really want to dance. And she's like, no, it's theater and acting. But it was dancing. Yeah. So then I did that camp, and then I was all in. I stopped playing sports in 7th grade, and everyone's like,
so how did you get all in, though? Because you said your first impression, you crashed, it was a bad impression. So, like, you just became enamored of it, like, afterwards? Like, what was the turning point? You just going back and...
She's like, all right, don't do the cartwheel. We'll just run and have you pop up like Peter Pan or something. So... the summer camp, you know, and then I got friends there, and then in 7th grade, everyone's like, are you going to play, you know, baseball or basketball or something? I was like, no, I dance now. And they're like, shut up. Yeah. I'm like, no, I like full-on dance now. Mm-hmm. And then I just did. Like, ballet, jazz,
can you do hip-hop. Like a spinaroo? Like, do you still, like, what would be your main, okay, like hip-hop dancing, like.
No, my main was like, I don't know, like modern jazz dancing, kind of like theater, think like Broadway.
Okay.
And tap dancing.
Okay, yeah, it's big. It's Irish. It's big in the Irish community. So I was like, I want to do dancing, but I wanted to explore my Irish roots. But I'm definitely not doing tap dancing. And I would do break dancing and stuff like.
You would love tap dancing. It's so rhythmic and like.
I know, but the stigma around it, I don't know.
For sure, no,
Yeah.
that's the big stigma. It's like everyone thought I was joking, and then they were like, people would like show up to performance, and they're like, no, Rich full on dances.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
That's cool. I mean, that's a hell of a skill. Like,
You can't hide that.
Yeah.
If you get found out that you're like going to dance class as a guy, everyone's gonna be real like suspect. You're gonna get hazed.
But it's a
a
freaking
bit.
gold mine. There's a few guys that I did do that. I was like, ugh. And some of the girls at Holy Name that I really liked were in like theater and stuff. But I was so nervous and stuff. I was like, I can't explore. I'm a football player. You know what I'm saying? So I never explored that side. But the girls I had crushes on were like the talkative girls that were doing all that stuff. I was like, oh, if only I could go.
Oh,
back.
I totally digressed away from the point though. The point was Joanne Warren was a great mentor.
Yeah.
And someone who instilled like such confidence into whoever she taught, and just gave you great life skills. Like, go to an audition in New York with 500 people, and just go.
Did you do that
all the time?
Oh shit!
Go to the front, perform your best, and be confident in yourself. And if you're typecast, you're out. You're not tall enough. You're too short. But if you're the right fit, they keep passing you forward. And it's just. Back to that mentorship idea.
That's a hell of
If I didn't find that
relationship
early on, who knows what I'd be doing, because I was kind of a lost soul. But that gave me such focus and confidence to, apply to other things as well.
Agreed, yeah. And like, now that you say that, my freshman year, like my mentor, so that's a hell of a story. Thanks for sharing that. When I played football, my coach, he lived on this lake. I'm like, how did he know? Because Millbury won. When I played football, I started playing in 5th grade for Millbury. We were a losing team. We played junior Pee-wees, losing team 5th grade. 6th grade, losing team Pee-wees. And then junior midget, they made me a captain. And like we started practicing all the freaking time. We went undefeated. I had about like 4 or 5 touchdowns, not like at least 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, and the other teammates had at least a couple too. We barely finished games. We smoked everybody. It was a huge thing in the town. That's why when I was like, I'm gonna be a football player, because like, I'm good at this football thing. I was the skinny fast kid lightning. Like, I would be tight end, so I love running full speed and blocking the guys, and I love running by them because they don't look at the tight end. And it didn't matter if I'm a receiver. It didn't matter where you put me. So I always wore the Randy Moss shirt. So, and we would do jet sweeps because like I started to get confident on taking the hits. And I love playing defense. I had like I always had defensive touchdowns like almost every game. Like I smashed kids. So I was a football player through and through. So my freshman year football coach, he lived on this lake here, Dave Mong. I'll never forget that man. He started taking me to the weight room. So that's how I went from 135. I graduated about 235. Everybody thought I was sauce to the gills. No, that was my mentor. He would come and pick me up like at least 5 days a week. I would design the workouts. I did the research. Because he was like the old school Holy Name football player. He was probably around my age now. He was probably around 38. That's crazy. And he was like a salesman and everything. And like, we lifted weights every day, and he showed like seeing how strong and big he was a lineman, and he was like half Native American, like had to have been Comanche or something. This motherfucker was iron, and he was my mentor that got me into lifting weights, and we lifted weights for a couple of years, and then he had an accident he would ride his speedboat around late night. I'd be upstairs in my sister's room when she went to college to get over, and he crashed on a rock and died. And so like junior year, I believe, that was traumatic, bro. Like him dying, he was like one of my best friends, And we were at the gym. We were like superstars. Like, so that's how I got into like my football proclivity, because he really brought that out. I was like, I want to be like him. And my mother, like, she really facilitated that too. And like just seeing him talk after my football games, like hearing him compliment me, I was like, I like this guy. He's an old school Holy Name player who beat St. John's, and he's like, you'll beat him if you lift weights with me. But no one else lifted weights, so we ended up getting smashed. But he played a seminal. He had a seminal role, like in the early stages, nascent stages, and a major material impact on my life for sure. I'll never forget him. Yeah. So those mentors, like we had them, and they led us to our career, like our past. But other people aren't so lucky to have these older people show us.
That's what you asked me.
Yeah.
How did I get to this point to being interested in video? And I started way far back.
But that's how it goes. Yeah, you found yours earlier.
Fast forward to doing sales for a digital marketing company.
Yeah.
And I was doing sales and like fulfilling projects, but mostly in the digital marketing space. Then the company switched to video first, only video, and I was doing sales for them. But having grown up making beats and stuff, and like having a passion for like looping music and stuff and tap dancing, I caught on really quick to what they were doing. Just like the way they would edit video was just like making music. So I started editing and playing around and being like, yo, let's go make something. And the first video I went out to make was buying 4 strangers pho for Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving. And that was like
the food pho.
Yeah. Okay. I found 4 strangers to go eat pho with.
Yeah.
Paid for their lunch.
Yo, what up, pho?
Yeah, and it went viral, and Mass Live picked it up, and it got like 300 shares and like 25K likes. And then after that, every video I put out just flopped. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But that was like, that your first try at something.
You weren't as tapped in. That's what Curtis was like. People, what was his humor like? He was a dad joke, and like you said, tapped in, so like, so you would have been like, that's tapped in, that like I joke like that too. But yeah, I'm listening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And it was like, I wanted to move away from sales and do more marketing because it was creative, it was fun, and then I just started freelancing, working for free, doing some paid work. I was still waiting tables like 1 or 2 nights a week, and then COVID hit, and I just I switched over.
Interesting. So one thing that really stood out and was salient to me was I know all these words. I'm like, thanks, Mom, for teaching me all these words. Salient is obvious, so or really important is you mentioned volunteering. The altruism of benevolent activity of giving for people pho. So my mother always would take me to volunteering events. Like we would go to the church, we would do everything, and that's where I met a lot of friends outside of Holy Name. Like there was a requirement to volunteer, was there not? Like you had to do X amount. As I remember it, you had to like volunteer like 30 hours a semester or something. I would always smash that number by the first semester, and they would give a volunteer award. I got it each year at Holy Name because my mom, we did that all the time. Like she instilled that into me. So after college, I started to get into to volunteering. Even in college too, as a captain on the track team, we did an annual event. We would go to a food bank in Amherst in Western Mass and do that. I love that. My mom always would take me to food banks and less privilege. And I remember one thing she always did when we were riding around, because she was always pushing me so hard to be like good and successful and everything. And I would get mad when we only had like $5 in because she would always donate it or put it in the thing at St. Mark's Church. She would always give it away. And I'm like, there's no snacks or special dinner for Anthony tonight because she just gave away all last money. Because I knew exactly how much money I would steal her money too. But only if she had a lot. So I remember one day, after a football soccer game, instead of going to get my Friendly's Fribble shake, she would reward me with Friendly's.
Bulk.
Yeah. Well, this was when I was real skinny after soccer. Like I loved getting like all the parents would take me out to eat afterwards. You're scoring 5 or 6 goals at these games. Like they take care of you, and they would buy me clothes and stuff. And that's another thing. Remember when when I was in college, they were like, college athletes shouldn't get these things. Yeah, it's rich people saying that. Like you're not saying poor kids that like give us stuff, please. But I'll win you the championship. Give me some stuff. I used to love that, and the parents used to love me and like try to get it to wear off on their kids, but it didn't, because they didn't grow up rough like with that desire. But so I appreciated growing up rough, and it made me hungry. But in any event, we were coming over from a soccer game once. She saw a guy on the side of the road, and she stopped and was like, and just gave him the money. She always would do this, and I was like, Mom, that's the last of my money. We can't go give Friendlies now, and he's gonna go spend it on drugs. He's gonna go spend it on drugs. And she's like, she stopped and was like, Anthony, he can go spend it on anything he wants. You don't judge it like. And I remember her saying, like, he could have been, he's a poor, I always thought, I was like 11 to 12 years old. I was like, homeless people are born homeless and they stay homeless. And she's like, what? She's like, he's been rejected by society. He's got the nerve to stand out here and ask for money. Because we qualified for a lot of things, like when my dad wasn't working and things, but she didn't have the nerve to go out there and beg. If people do, they deserve. So that's why altruism is a big thing with me. If you look even on my LinkedIn, I volunteer. I used to all the time. I'm trying to get back into it. But it was just a part of my life. And she's like, you don't judge them what they spend their money on. Like, you don't know what trauma they had. Like, what do you mean he's going to go spend it on drugs? And I was so surprised to hear her, who's so proper, that wants me to be a good kid. She's like, don't you judge these people. He can spend it on whatever he wants. Why are you worried if he spends it on drugs? He's got nothing going for him. So altruism has always been a huge part of my life. And that's directly because of, her and my father.
Do you plan on moving back up north, or do you think you'll stay down south?
I'm applying to, I'm in the final rounds for another role at Truist Bank in North Carolina. So it all depends where I land my next opportunity. I'm open to coming back here, but I make really good money down south in North Carolina where it's low cost of living. So it's hard to be like, a lot of companies, like, they're gonna be like, oh, well, we can match your salary, well, because you make a good salary. But yeah, but like, making the same salary in Boston is not the same. It's like at least 1.5 times, you know. So I got an offer too, but at the same salary, and I would have to live here to live in this house, and I would commute to Boston. So one of the pros about living in Charlotte is I walk to work and back. So for 4 years. For 4 years, I drove to TJX and back in Framingham, and then for 4 years after that, I drove to the train station in Grafton and commuted in. That was to Boston. That was a 2-hour commute each way. So I don't want to do long commutes anymore. So, but if I move back here and I want to stay in financial services, I'll probably have to work in Boston. So, but I want to live here on the house on the lake. So I'll have that major commute again, and I don't want that. So,
Yeah, it sucks.
but I have nobody out there. It's good to have family and bumping into the aunts like you saw, Lily and May. I told you about her too, and Uncle Timbo up the road. So I don't know if this role doesn't pan out, or if it does, but in any event, I want to do music and comedy. So if I can pop off and do it like remote, I would come back here. But in the meantime, I got a really good setup in Charlotte, like walking distance to all the major banks, the football stadium. It's a 5-minute walk, and I get paid well. It's a low cost of living. Like, you know, it's hard to beat that.
Is the Tinder fire down there?
The Tinder. So
Is that what the kids call it? The Tinder?
Yeah. So I haven't been on the. I've just been like trying to like talk to like women from my past, really. So the last couple of things I've done is all women. So I was in my first serious relationship when I moved down there. I met her through Tinder. Her name was Sarah, and then that kind of pain. I don't know. She was withholding information, and it really bothered me. Like her husband that I think she was split from was living in the garage of the basement, but she hid that from me. And once I found out about that, I think I overreacted and was like, oh, you're cheating on me with him and with everybody, and I went through like a really bad episode. So then I met another girl through Bumble, but like I've been doing more so serious relationships. I only started really seriously dating in my 30s because before that I had too much trauma. I didn't know how to do it, and then with Sarah, she taught me how to have relationships and things like that. So as someone with trauma, like in high school, I didn't talk to the girl. I was so scared, like I wanted it so bad, and I was so scared, and I was worried about STDs, kids, and like these people only. I needed to meet a mature and really educated women. Those are the only women I'm attracted to. So that's why it was hard for me to date when I was younger. Because as soon as I hear someone's a girl be a mean girl or be uneducated, like my mother was like top dog, my sister top dog, my grandma, all the women around me are like top in the world, you know. So I can't have like a girl. She's got to be smarter than me, and I'm not that smart, but I do have some requirements. So. But yeah, so I've done more long-term relationships on that. So Tinder and everything's down there. I couldn't tell you. You know, I've only been in like 2 or 3 serious relationships since I've been down there.
I was just kind of messing around.
I went on a long diatribe about it. So be careful what you say around me. I will rattle, motherfucker. I will rattle.
Putting you on the spot.
Sure.
Do you have any when you do comedy? Is it scripted out, or is it like this came to my mind, so I'm just gonna spit it out right now? So you can't really recite like something.
Oh, I just like do first. I just like, I got an idea, and because they come so quick, and same thing with music, I try to capture it as quickly because you see how quick I operate. The Starbucks is really jet fuel, by the way, because I'm not a hardcore. I've been drinking the mushroom coffee, the daily dose. That stuff really gets you locked in, but not like jittery and fired up like this. You're more focused. Like this caffeine boost is like, whoa.
Same. I switched to Earl Grey tea in the morning.
Okay.
And do I feel so much better by the midday, and that's when I have a cup of coffee. It's like 1, 2, 3 o'clock. I'll have not this much coffee.
Yeah.
This is a special occasion.
Yeah.
But I'll have like a little half a cup of coffee, and then I feel great. When I have coffee first thing in the morning, I don't feel good. I get like shaky, jittery.
Yeah, and it suppresses my appetite, and then you go into the bathroom right away, and like that's not how you want to.
And I bet there's like mold and pesticides involved somehow in coffee production, and I bet it upsets your gut, your biome.
Yeah, for sure.
So something funky with it. But when I switch to tea, I'm like, you know what's even better? Nothing, just water.
Yeah, definitely. But like with the mushroom coffee, have you tried it though?
I haven't.
Oh my god, it does dial you the hell in. So
nice.
Yeah,
there's caffeine in it. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
Very like minimal
caffeine,
amounts. Yeah. It's minimal. But like I don't use I'm gonna crash after this. Like I abstained, so I used to drink a lot of soda growing up. My dad always, the typical black household, we had like the 12 packs of soda all up the stairs. So I was smashing like 4 or 5 of Cokes a day throughout middle school. And I would, like playing sports, I'd be cramping and all this stuff. So when I got the Holy Name, I stopped drinking, and I could barely eat. I stopped drinking soda and caffeine. And that's when I started getting bigger too. I stopped playing a million sports. I stopped drinking caffeine. My appetite kicked in. I started lifting weights. And that's when I really, really shined. And I wasn't like as jittery. Like in middle school, I was drinking Coke, for like sneaking a Coke at breakfast, sneaking a Coke at lunch. I don't know. It's not a great way to start the day for me when I'm already naturally like this. You know what I'm talking about? My dad was too. And my mom was fired up as well.
Are there any people in risk management? You do risk management?
Yeah.
Do you see any content creators in that space?
No, not that I've seen, unless they're doing it, kind of surreptitiously or quietly, keeping it low pro. But not that I've seen, no. Yeah. So maybe that could be another angle, somehow.
I don't know, what I don't even really understand what you do. You could talk about it all day, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't understand.
What you do in here, I saw you setting up all this equipment. It's far beyond what I'm doing, like, in how advanced you are with, like, the lighting, the shades, this. What I'm doing is pretty simple. Like, does the data match what it's supposed to be? Does it look like what it's supposed to? Are you following the rules? I'm looking at, like, what it's supposed to be and what it is. And
okay, last work question.
Yeah.
Are you developing a software that you are taking the data to funnel into? Like, I heard you say the word macro earlier.
Oh, yeah. So, Excel?
Yeah.
Microsoft Excel. So, the coding language or portion of Excel where you can automate tasks. Instead of, like, doing everything manually, if it's a repetitive task, you can create a macro you can assign a button that you push, like, click, and that will run that task automatically for you. So...
And you're connecting this data with the API into Excel, like different data points?
With macros, you can go into Excel. You can have it go to data sources like a SharePoint site or another user request link or URL. Fetch data from there. Open up the file. Pull it into the site. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can pull in data it's so I was doing that more at State Street. At Bank of America, I was more so pulled like. Because I was automating repetitive tasks that I was doing in compliance. That's what I was doing at State Street. At Bank of America, it's more like connecting to the back-end databases using like a program like Toad Data Point or the API, application processing interface, using like structured query language, SQL, like fetching the data and then pulling it and analyzing it, or like using it to like produce reports, like summarizing it, like pulling all the data from this database and counting the rows or whatever and saying they have they have a row for each process. You can quickly summarize, like, and build Tableau dashboards that or BI tools, business information tools that will display the data and manipulate it. So
like
you can pull the data.
BI as a software.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you can pull data in, and I was using other tools outside of Excel to do more of the work.
So in your position, are you the one pulling in these tools and building this process, or are you given this process and you're just help managing it? Like, do you build that for the companies you work for, or is it already built and you can just make it more efficient, or you have to create a report from that information and present it?
I would say a mix of both. So working with current enterprise reporting, the existing report inventory, looking at it, analyzing it, and then coming up with ways to streamline it, optimize it, or coming up with new views or new ways to look at that data that show what you're really trying to look at. Say that other enterprise report didn't show the angle, the vantage point that you wanted to see, creating new reports that show, when the executive says, I want to see this data like this, then you use those tools to build that new visualization, When
you show a visualization to someone and they're like, ooh, that data doesn't look good, run it again, and you're like, it's not going to change it. They're like, just try it, run it again, and you're like, click.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. Did you watch The Office?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I did see all of it. Yeah. So wait, which one was that?
Michael Scott. He's looking at his bills before he went bankrupt, and Oscar creates an Excel of all his numbers.
Oh, yes.
Or no,
yes.
maybe that's the one where they're trying to figure out if they have enough money to keep the Michael Scott paper company running. That's the one, and it's him and Pam and Ryan, and with the accountant, and the accountant's like, your business is failing, you have to close it. And they're like, oh, do we run the numbers again? And he's like, it's not going to change. And he goes, just try it. And he hits enter again, and it's same number.
Yeah.
I
So
just picture that.
It does happen because you gotta say, if you build a view and it's not capturing the data right, you didn't structure your query correctly, appropriately. So that can't happen. The data owner is gonna say, are you sure you built this right? You know,
you
make
built
sure
it right, but can you build it the other way so that it looks better?
So yeah, I mean, and they will sometimes identify, say you rushed a view, or it didn't capture like some nuance, like, oh yeah, this query or this view, it didn't account for this nuance. So sometimes it's good to have that partnership, and they will be right, like, but sometimes they will be wrong, and you'll prove it to them that they're wrong and that they got to fix the data. So it's good to have that two-way dialogue, because it can help you improve the view, adjusting for, you know, whatever unique situation wasn't accounted for originally, I would say.
Should we do something fun? Do you want to make a beat on Suno live right now?
You want to? Yeah, let's do it. Hell yeah. So
Do you just use your phone?
Yeah. So I'll show you now. Oh, these wooden chairs. My poor bum. I should have gotten some. I apologize. So how do you want to? Let's do this live. So, I've been doing this for 6 years. So it's like I just do it as it comes to me. But though I draw influences, say if I'm listening to like a movie or something, and I hear the beginning of a song, and I'm like, I automatically build out how I think it should sound. And I hear the song change, I'm like, no, let me start with that rhythm, those first 3 beats, and then I'm gonna go, say the song goes da-da-da. Oh, I'm trying to think of one, like, which one did I do the other day? I have so many examples, so it's hard for me to call.
Well, I'm putting you on the spot, it's really hard.
But
so
yeah,
with the Suno app, like, I don't know if this will make a sound. Can we like record that in there and then you build off of that?
Yes, we can. So, oh shit, too. Where did we do with this light? So when this light makes a cool, I'm a little dog. Head over here.
Well, oh, you bringing the light over for the? That's your percussion.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a concussion when I hit my head on it. I hope I don't give you one too. The percussion.
You must already have a couple. No, you got a good head. There's no concussions
I was a banger
there.
at football for Milby and for Holy Name. When I would take I wore a do-rag and everything. My head would be all black and blue, all blood. Like my head was all purple. Like, cause I was a banger, boy. I was one of those bruiser running backs. So I definitely. That's another reason why Amherst College, like, I stopped playing football because like I was like so confused and everything. And then like slowly after like I started to come into myself. Like I told you, I remember my childhood better than I remember like a lot of high school and college, because that's when I was banging, boy. So I'll never let my kids play.
Oh, you played for Amherst?
Yeah. I played football there, and I ran track. But yeah, so I stopped playing football. I didn't play my senior year, and I didn't even try to play. And I was like, I should be a D1. I'm not even the starting running back. So I like all my efforts were perfunctory. I never even ran. But I'm glad I stopped playing. I'm glad I stopped. Yeah, because it really did negatively impact me. I definitely had like a lot of CTE or something because I couldn't focus or anything, and like. I just really couldn't, you know? And then I discovered my aptitude for like knowledge and learning, my constant curiosity. It really started to kick in slowly over the years after I stopped playing football. So I experienced that personally.
You probably were bored. You're like, all right, now what? I got to do something.
But I do think it was not being bored, but like I wanted to explore other things, and it's just there's a brain fog. I don't know how else to describe it. Like my brain didn't work as it did as a child, like it works now. You know, I'm just like dialed in. I'm tapped in, as you said, you're tapped in. So, but that's my experience with football. So let's not get a percussion concussion. So like,
no,
let's use that.
You're starting.
So what did you use? Oh, you want me to start?
I'm thinking this could be like the bass or. I don't know how Suno. I'm guessing Suno. How does it work? We can record a bunch of different sounds.
Yes,
and then prompt it, and it'll create a song.
Exactly. So let's do
different layers. You can do one layer, then this layer.
Yeah, I think it will record both sounds if we do it. So
at the same time.
Yeah. So let me open up.
You
the
can't
app.
like open a track, record that, then open another track, record something else, open another. track.
I'm not that advanced. I just do it all in one take, baby. That's I'm like
one take. Okay.
One take. They call me One Take Tony. You know what I'm talking about?
I told you about the app.
Yeah.
I never used it before.
Yeah.
I made an account and I knew other people were using it for what you were looking for.
Yeah.
And I haven't got involved into it yet.
Yeah, I really think I'm the Suno whisperer because it's so perfect for someone like me who can capture these unique melodies. I just don't know how to put the beats I have in my head. So I can specify the genre. I say like rap. So I want to say percussion.
I want to see the app.
Okay, yeah.
So
don't be looking at my photos now. You don't want to see what I was been sending. Oh,
so
she asked for it. I'm only kidding.
That's the model. So tap out a beat.
She did though. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, you record right.
So this is the beat getting recorded. Boom, boom, boom. And then can you add another beat?
So did you hit stop? Oh, so then what it does now? So from here, it's gonna load in that recording, and you can either put the lyrics you want, or you can put. So I go instrumental. So if you don't put lyrics, they'll generate automated lyrics. So I like to do the style. So if you want to do, I like to do like underground rap, and I like to say hardcore. Cool. So that's all I do. And you've heard some of the beats. We can I'm happy to link them after you post this video, but we'll explore it. And you can load in those pre-recordings that you have. So I told you the last 6 years or so I've been recording these ideas. I haven't even touched my backlog. And you've heard some of the fire. It's just like as I hear something, if I heard you doing that, I'm like, oh shoot, let me modify that rhythm. Let me record it, put it in a Suno, and I'm getting fire, bro.
Oh, okay. And you just record that. Okay.
Yeah. So you can either record new or upload it.
What if we record like 3 minutes worth of stuff? Will it then collect that data?
It will, yeah. So what I usually do is I record like 10 to 15 seconds, and it's pretty good at creating the loop, like the drop and everything. So it'll like restructure you can specify how weird you want it to be, how much of a style influence you want to be, and how much of like true to the recording. Like you can say, do you want it to be 20% like the recording, and so the app is more flexibility, or like 100%. So if you go da 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 da, the beat that it spits out is going to be da 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 with whatever instrument or genre.
How are you adding, and you add the lyrics, you don't make the beat, and then if you did make a beat in Suno, would you then upload the beat to Suno and record lyrics over that?
I believe, I don't know if Suno has that functionality, but there is an app, BandLab, that I have. So I started making my beats in Suno, and because I didn't see how to record over a song, I download the track, upload it to BandLab, and there's other applications that can do this, and then you can overlay it with the vocals.
All right, let's practice.
Okay, so
you're gonna put a percussion, and I'm gonna do.
All right, but let's have an idea before. You want to just freestyle percussion, concussion, da 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 da, percussion, concussion, da 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 da.
And do you usually say something
too? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just came up with that now, just talking. That's how I would say percussion if I'm trying to make. That the sound that needs to be refurbished.
I don't know.
Okay, you wanna. All right, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna do, and I'll capture about 15 seconds.
Okay.
And then we'll see what song we get. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, good. Let's see here, and then I'll specify instrumental. And then I'm gonna say style. You like underground rap beats, right? So,
let's do old school 90s rap.
Okay, so what would be the best way to? So what I've found the best results when you find a song that sounds similar or the genre that you like, rather than taking our guess at what the genre is.
Fugees.
So Fugees. I want to see what Wikipedia said. Like any specific song that you like.
You can't.
Like the Refugees, you mean with Lauryn Hill?
Yeah.
Okay, so hey Mona Lisa, can I get a date on Friday?
Wyclef.
I wouldn't mind to get Saturday.
Or can you prompt it to do a Wyclef and maybe Q-Tip style beat?
You can. The best way to I've had these. Let's try. We'll do a couple different takes. We'll do. Yeah. Well, okay, styles. We're gonna do Wyclef Jean and Q-Tip.
Yeah.
Wyclef. And my sister went to Smith College because of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill went to Smith.
They have a great botany program, right?
Plants. Yeah. So last time I didn't know this. Last time I visited, a couple of years ago, I was a big gambler as well. I'd go to the Foxwoods, and I knew all one of the major. Yeah, I'd be up and down thousands. One of the guys I gambled with, I guess he was like a professor there, and I saw him walking around. I was walking around with my sister for whatever reason. Oh, one of her best friends was having a birthday. It was why can't I think of her name? Brittany. It's Brit, but she's got a nickname. But in any event, we were walking around because we were visiting her for her birthday. It was on Cinco de Mayo. So we were walking around Smith College, and I saw him walking around, and we went through the botany, all the different, what would you call it? Where the plants are, what would that be called? The greenhouse?
Greenhouses.
And it was wicked cool. I didn't know that, because
some of their
when I was going to Smith College, I wasn't trying to look at the plants.
Was planted in 1896. Some of their cactuses, or old growth stuff, is planted over 100 years ago.
I was like, whoa! Some of the stuff was hella old.
Cast iron greenhouses are all original. Yeah. Obviously, the windows probably. No, it was amazing.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't if I wouldn't have gone to her birthday party in Smith. But yeah, it's one of the best botany programs around. Like I learned that. So I'm trying to spell how do you spell Wyclef? It doesn't
Ycliff. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do you have a difficult name to spell Wyclef?
W-A.
Yeah, that's how I was trying to spell it, but Suno was saying I was spelling it wrong. So the autocorrect in Suno needs a little upgrade, but that's not what it's. So you got to do a little due diligence before you.
So do you create a prompt for two things or just one?
I'm gonna do comma. Q-tip. But if I just do Q-tip, like, I don't think it's gonna know the artist name Q-tip. Let me get his
it's
real
gotta
name.
know.
Okay.
It's gotta know. Q-tip's
okay,
producer,
Q-tip.
musician.
Okay.
Tribe Called Quest.
Yep. I'm gonna do Q-tip. Okay, because his vibrant thing.
Well, so what is?
Q-tip.
You don't have to click. You don't do anything under style, right?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm specifying style. I'm saying Wyclef John's, comma Q-tip. So we're gonna do another iteration of this. It's easy. You pull up your previous prompt and it'll pull us right back here with the same recording. Okay. So we don't lose anything. So Wyclef John Q-tip instrumental. You want me to? Is that?
Why not do Wyclef Jean vocal and Q-tip producing, or just?
But we don't have lyrics. You want it to auto generate the lyrics for us? It's gonna come up with.
No, I want to do the lyrics.
Okay, so let's get the beat here. So Wyclef John Q-tip. Is that a valid query? Do you think?
I don't think so. I think we need more information.
That's like I only specify one or two things because you've heard some of my beats and you like them. I use them saying like underground rap, hardcore, or like
do
Latin
Q-tip
trap,
production style. Q-tip production style.
Okay, let's see if it will. Production style. It'll clear RULs.
And Wyclef and do like Wyclef. That should specify like a reggae style. Okay, let's run with it.
Okay.
I'm going too deep into it.
Well, and we're going to do lots of different iterations because if this doesn't work, I say we pull up the genre of one of their songs, like, hey, Mona Lisa, I like that song. That beat is fire. You know that song I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're saying you can reference songs?
So I'll look up exactly what Wikipedia says that genre is.
Oh, gotcha. When I was scrolling through Suno, you could pick the exact Afro punk dance.
Yeah.
You could pick the...
Exactly, but like rather than me and you getting it kind of right, Wikipedia has like this is the genre for this song. Like, and the artist probably corroborated or confirmed that genre.
Got it.
So I think Suno is hip to that. So let's just see. Come on, there.
Do you pay for the monthly subscription, or is that a free version?
Yeah, and it's like $30 a month, and it's like you can make like 1 million songs a month. Like,
Starbucks, get this sponsor going so I can get Suno.
Let me see. Did it make the song here? I'm not seeing it right away. Let's do it again. Okay, now it's your groove is on its way, baby. Groovy. It's saying, it doesn't let you do artist name. Tags contain artist name. It's an invalid prompt. I thought you could do that. So let's change. So what's the name of that song? I think it's called Saturday. So let's do Wyclef John Saturday. Right? Like just to get the name of the song, because like that genre is like that's one of the most fire beats to the song. Hey Mona Lisa, can I get a date on Friday? Wyclef John, can I get a date on Friday? And if you're busy, I wouldn't mind taking Saturday.
So it would almost be helpful to take ChatGPT.
Mona Lisa. Yep.
Take ChatGPT and produce a document of all the musical genres that Suno uses for beats, so you could like copy and paste.
Yeah, there's definitely some ChatGPT potential here. So its genre is called old school hip hop. So we'll go old school hip hop in lieu or in place of Wyclef John. Old school hip hop there.
Could you do old school hip hop with reggae undertones?
Yeah, so I'll do comma reggae, and that's all we gotta do.
Oh, okay.
Or like reggae rap. We'll do reggae and then comma. You say Q-tip. Let's look up Q-tip. I want to see.
Well, you could look up like Tribe Called Quest is probably like a lo-fi old school.
Riding. I want to, cause like I think I see where we're going with this beat, but you know the song where he's talking about not vibrant thing. Q-tip got you pictured in it with a 4-point something with a low ride something. 4-point something with a low ride something. I forget the name of that song. With a low ride something. Who's looking better? And damn, you looking good in it. I think with a dope ride, something.
When he's on a song with Busta, Kanye.
Let's ride. Okay, Q-Tip. His beats with Busta were fire too. I'm trying to remember the songs now. We're going a mile a minute here. Q-Tip, Let's Ride genre. It is indie underground hip hop. So is that what you like?
Yeah, indie underground hip hop is probably.
Okay, so I'll do old school hip hop, reggae.
No, I would just do indie underground hip hop. No old school or reggae.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's the vibe.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with you. Indie. Let me see exactly how they formatted the
And you say you're not good at technology.
I'm all over the place, buddy. It takes me. You see how long this took me to get here, but I got my methods because I can't remember. Like I see, I'm like my father now. He's like, "What was that guy in the Knicks, the light skinned dude, John Starks? Yeah, who do you always pass to?" And I'll be like, this guy." Like, so I'm exactly like the man. It's like it takes some years to elucidate.
You need me as your creative assistant so that I could set all this stuff up, and then you just come in and bang it out.
Yeah, you've showed me the way, man. You have shown me the way.
I can't be moving to South.
You are my mentor. You're my music mentor. My Eminem. Will the real rich one
remember that, people?
Stand up. Yeah, bro, you've helped me out tremendously, and I'm extremely grateful and appreciative.
My beats are whack as fuck, dude.
Let's hear this. No, they're not.
Dude, it sounds like Raekwon and Wu-Tang.
It does.
Old school.
It does sound like that.
Criminology. Can you turn it up?
This is my phone volume sucks balls. Literally.
Put it in the microphone. I'm gonna have to start rapping.
We just made this. Yo, start rapping. We grew up trapping. Ain't nothing happened. But now me and Rich together, we make it happen. We be zapping all the time, cause we tapped in. Eric Clapton, we do it all, not with guitars, but we can. We do it as we do, cause we the captain, more the ship. Yo, there's more to this, you can't stop it. Yo, we the lyricists, who knows shit. Get on this tip, because it's Q-Tip type style, but we do it wild. And he said it's Shaolin style. You got bars? Let's go, doggy.
I don't got bars, bro.
You got some bars. No, I used to freestyle all the time, but like aggressively. Like I was more of a battle rapper. Like in Worcester, going out to the bars, I would battle anybody.
I'm trying to think of a hook.
Oh, this is my auntie calling. Oh, jeez.
Pick it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me just call it quick. Let me just see here.
Yeah.
Lily. It went phenomenal. Well, I'm doing the podcast right now. I'm doing the podcast as we speak.
All right. Did you get to the bank?
No, I didn't. We gotta because I've been vibing. The interview went extremely well, and then we jumped right into the podcast. So let me call you after this, and we'll figure it out.
You know what I can do, Ian? I can pick you up at 8:30 with $100 to go. You gotta have a little travel money.
And I'll send it to however much you give me. I'll transfer it. I can still transfer money, so I can zell it to you. But I'll call you right after this. And I'll send it right to you. So I'll give you extra. I'll give you extra. Read all about it.
No, you won't.
Extra. Read all about it.
No, I won't take it.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna gamble it.
No. Hey. No.
8:30.
8:30 shop. I'm gonna text you, call you in a minute after this.
All right.
Thank you so much, Lee. You really saved the day coming in. You didn't have to do that. You did. I really appreciate you.
I'm Auntie Lee.
Auntie Lee. Come on. Thank you. Bye. I love you. Okay.
Fried
Sorry,
chicken.
I don't. You gotta. She just got out of cancer treatment. I don't like missing calls. You know.
You pick calls up when people call you. You know,
Exactly.
this ain't.
So one thing is to also, it gives you two. I don't know if it's the default settings when you run the prompt. It gives you two examples or whatever. So we got another example. So I
let's
just was
hear
playing
the
the
other
phone.
one.
Okay, let's see the other one.
This has got a Q-Tip vibe to it,
Yeah.
and maybe some Pharrell because it's got that repeating.
Pharrell, he can tell, casting spell. All the time, shots like Latrell. Be well, I was talking about the Knicks, but this shit right here, yo, this shit really hits. More like the Cleveland Cavaliers because we set the road as it newly appears. The road wasn't paved, but the mentors we connected with, they showed us the way. We here today.
I like the first one.
This is how we display like a tableau, dashboard, You like the first one a little better?
I think so.
Let's run another another rendition. Do you wanna do you wanna change the style, or do you like,
Play it again.
You run it again or play the songs
The
again?
same song, the first one.
And the first one, I like that one a little bit better than that second one too. So here's the first one.
I don't even think we need to change it. It's fire.
It is, but it's good to get a couple versions just to see. Because like
Before
the songs,
adding lyrics?
yeah. So sometimes I run the prompt and I like the style. I like one of the output or the versions, but I'll run it like 3 or 4 times. You know, because this one was shooting in the dark.
Okay.
With me, it's easier when you have the final output in mind. Like you and I are just seeing what we get. So let's it's more helpful when you don't know what you want to get. Let's just see what Suno gives us.
Did you get this note?
But otherwise, I'll continue to run the prompt until I get what I want to hear.
I don't remember what note I hit, but
we can hear. We can hear the prompt that we ran too.
yeah.
Let me see what it captured.
Get a couple going. See what comes out.
But listen,
I'll think of a hook for our song.
Let's listen to what it recorded. If it will let me, I'm hitting the play button. Of course, as we try to do it live, it's not. Of course. Well, let's try. Let's just do another rendition. Is it running here? On the app's being super slow. Okay, so it's generating 2 more songs. So it's like that boop boop bop bop. That's exactly how you do it when you download Suno. The first thing it says is boop boop bop bop. No, I'm just kidding. But let's see this. Here's 2 more versions. Like this is pretty fire too. It's got Wu-Tang. This has got me giving me Wu-Tang vibes.
I don't know, something about the first one. It's
I think the first one too.
I'm a very prolific over perfect person, so when I hear something the first time, okay, but that bridge right there was pretty fire.
Yeah. Right as you were saying it now, sometimes it's the last.
This is a different one?
It's the same prompt. It's a different version of the same prompt.
It's more theatrical.
Yes. I'm vibing off this one a little bit more. It's overlaying with additional piano. Yo, this shit is fire, dog. So it creates the bridges for you. When you just put what you want looped, it will it takes a stab at creating that bridge, and so it's fire an overwhelming majority of the time. In a lot of times with these different versions, I'm like, yo, I like that beginning sequence, but I like the hook on this other version. So what you and I are gonna have to do is mix and match the songs. That's
where that other software will come in handy. GarageBand.
Exactly. Well, I think BandLab is what we want for that.
A million of them. Free Loops, whatever.
But I was messing around with BandLab and it was so intuitive that even you just upload the song and it immediately gives you all it's extremely intuitive. I'm like my parents. I'm like, oh, technology. Ooh. I'm like, I get intimidated. So, but the easier it is, the better for me.
What do you do now when you pick a beat? Add lyrics to it.
I've only added one, so I made a song. I don't even know if I want to play it.
Well, can we add lyrics to this one?
Yeah, you want to do it live?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's download it. We'll download it right now. Right now. Do that shit right now. It was the last one or the first one. You want to do both? The first song you liked and the last song you liked. Do we want to start with the last one?
Sure. Whatever one you want.
Because I know you got, what time you need to, it's 5:08. I want to be respectful of your time as well. What time do you need to skedoodle?
5:08, respect.
Oh, 5:08, yo, shit. Yo, that's good. Oh my God. So I'm so into I don't know if you want to call it serendipity or coincidences, but we make a beat and as soon as we look at the clock, what time do we see 5:08? We repping, kid. But let's see.
And the sun one. Where'd the sun go? We started this with the sun.
Went down. The boy's coming out, baby. It was. Okay, it was that one. So I'm gonna hit the ellipsis, the ... guy, and then you can download it. I'm gonna put it right in my files there, so easy. Anthony Fuller can do it because I get a little averse, but it's too difficult. Save the files, put it right in the spot. My downloads, bang. Let me put it in a new because that's the same output name as it's untitled because I didn't title it. So let me put it in a new folder. I can do that. I can create a new folder. Come on.
A hook comes to mind, and I don't know musically what it would be, but because you were talking about dodging hate earlier. So how can we put a hook that's I gotta bop and weave when I'm coming up with a brand new thesis.
Okay.
So they're throwing hate at me, so I gotta bop and weave, and I'm coming up with a brand new thesis. I don't know. That's the theme was going on in my head.
Okay.
Like dodging and weaving.
Okay.
Bopping and weaving, and then producing a brand new thesis. Like trying to rewrite the way history has.
We'll do it live. Well, fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. I could have just specified a different folder. So I'm gonna go to one with only like a few items in it. Yeah, I'm gonna go to. I have a folder named Files. Boom. Save it there, and then I pop over to the band lab. Oh, so we should write the lyrics in like Notepad or something.
Then Suno goes and makes it a song.
If I haven't tried that, so the way I don't think you can edit like current songs. I haven't tried that. Like I thought I tried a little bit, but it wasn't intuitive. So I said, get away, shoot. I shoot it away. So with BandLab, it's like upload and like you can immediately start adding lyrics.
Oh, like you can. It's not gonna auto-generate our lyrics.
After we recorded it, I don't know if we can in Suno.
Okay.
But like, look, so I don't know. I'm not describing it the best, but I'm learning it myself.
Yeah. Why don't we try to make one more Suno with lyrics? Or no, you can only do instrumental.
You can do both. It will if you can put in lyrics and it will sing it for you in like whatever voice.
Yeah, that's
style.
what I want to do.
Okay, so you wanna I want to see if we can. Let's see if we can. Like, see, I'm looking at the options here. Remaster? Would it be like which option would it be to add lyrics? Like I don't.
Not remaster.
Cover? Like I don't know what that means.
Cover music. And those are the only
options. When I click the ellipsis on the song, like with the.
This is the beat we just made.
Yeah.
Add to playlist like songs.
So that's
edit song details maybe. What is that?
That to show the remix origin. That's the original clip we used to generate the song we recorded.
Oh, and display lyrics. That's just gonna display.
That's just the displayed lyrics. Yeah.
All right.
So you want to get some lyrics onto this song? I say I open up Notepad. We listen to the song in the background. We like the lyrics we want. Then we write it down on an external device so we can read the lyrics. Or I have both apps open, but we need to be flipping around, and it's making me nervous even thinking about it. And then. We hit record in BandLab, and then we sing the lyrics, and it'll overlay the lyrics to the song. Does that
kind of here all night? What if we record you saying like a couple bars, and then I'll sing that ridiculous chorus I just made up, and we'll just tell it to make a song out of that.
So freestyle live. You really put me on the spot here. Because I haven't freestyled in years.
You just did.
No, I mean we can.
And the theme is hate and like trying to overcome prejudge.
So you're like freestyle on the spot, and I'm like, it's going right on YouTube, buddy. Let me see here.
Well, I mean, speak it. You don't even need to freestyle it. Just say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Recite some like poetry, and Suno's gonna do the work anyways.
You know Suno. Everybody knows Suno. Here, okay. Now I'm all flustered here because I'm gonna get ready for a YouTube freestyle. I'm trying to because I did this extremely easily.
Give it to me and I'll do it and see what it makes.
New. So I go to projects. You click new, and then prepare in the studio. And
what is this interface?
This is BandLab.
Oh, okay.
So
is it connected to Suno?
No, but I've downloaded the song from Suno and I'm just gonna import it. So there's got to be a way, some API that we can connect. But for now, we're doing it the rough, old-fashioned way.
Oh, because we're gonna
dusty.
We're gonna make the song.
Well, we got the beat, and now we're gonna just hit record and record a lyric, us singing into it. But the thing is, I don't think it plays the beat in the background while it. What's file? Oh, I put it in files. That's right. So here, untitled. So the song has been uploaded here. Let me see here, and then let me just do something. I don't know what the hell I just did. Well, I just uploaded it.
Yeah. Now add a vocal track.
Oh.
Go back.
Yeah.
So
I'll let you just
one track is gonna play the beat, and that's the volume.
What is that? Okay, that's the volume.
That's
okay,
the beat.
I thought that was
keep
like
it at that.
Yeah.
And then you add a vocal.
Voice audio. Can we? Oh, so it does. Is it? Oh, so you can't. I didn't even see that play button. Okay, here we go. So let's just overwrite this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop. We'll go back.
Yep.
So
I'll hit record again. It should overwrite it.
But I want to hit play and then record. So because to have the music, if you just hit record, it's not gonna play.
Yeah. Look.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, because record and play is linked.
Oh, it is.
So how do we clear the?
We can just overwrite it I think. Oh, there you go. Boom. Will you show me?
On,
Look at you. Yeah. See, thank you. Appreciate you. I mean, sure, show me the way. I told you, I'm very rough with this. That's also what she said.
It's always a learning curve.
Yeah.
With all that.
It really is. But like, you know, I'm trying to do a million things at once. So you want me to, what's your hook? You got to have the hook down first. Like
I'm just gonna have to go for it. Just start going, and I'll throw the hook in when it comes in. I don't know.
All right, let me think of something.
I'm not lyrically talented
Captain
like that.
Hook over here. I'm Peter Pan. You're Captain Hook. All right.
Might
So
need
you
more.
said it was bobbing and weaving and dodging hate. Is that what you said?
Bopping and weaving, and I'm coming up with a brand new thesis.
Oh yeah. Not many words rhyme with thesis, but yo. All right. I'll start with that. Let's just go do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
All right, throw me
Yo,
in.
bobbing and weaving, coming up with a brand new thesis. Go and peep this. Me and my dog, we butt heads, you Beavis. But we ain't pairing up because you can't compete, kid. You tried it, you left in the past. But that's what we do with everything that we don't like and won't last. We on that new perennial. We doing this shit in the advisories parental. Yo, we get down on instrumentals, and girls too, but that's just more of a rental. Now look at anything serious right now, that's how we get down. Yo, we do this shit ultrasound.
And they got me bopping and weaving. I gotta come up with a brand new thesis. They're throwing hate, so I'm bobbing and weaving, and you know we coming up with that brand new thesis.
The thesis, we bobbing and weaving, that new track, the hard lyrics you can believe in. Put your faith in us, you trust, and we will do this shit strictly as discussed. Off the cuff, we straight deluxe. Yo, we do this shit ultra surplus. That's more than requested. That's how we deliver. We do this shit, yo, way more than little slivers. Little swivers, you little quivers, we big bass, and we do that shit, we kick big ass, and that's how the girls, we like them to possess that trait, and we do this, that, cause that's our mental state,
And I gotta bop and weave to throw in the hate, so I'm bopping and weaving. Anthony's coming up with a brand new thesis.
Yes. Yo, that's our track right there, bro. And that's really rough. I mean, I haven't freestyled in forever.
That's rough. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
So
but that's just,
How
a
do I
creative
save this here?
brainstorming session. Did you just delete it?
No. I hope to God I didn't. Here, you take over. Jeez. Yeah, is there a save button? Is that the save? That might be the save at the top right there. Let's see what it does.
Yeah, save. New project. I'll just...
You can specify the name. Did you put a name there?
No, but
It said project
you can
save.
save you, so it's in your library today.
Okay, yeah.
So if we click it, can we go back to that whole... how do we go? Oh, the studio's right here.
Okay, you're just trying to play it, right?
And then you could add another vocal or something if you
Oh.
wanted to do like ad libs.
And I wish I had practiced my freestyles before this. Give me a break. So, hey, normally my freestyles are bars, but I haven't. I've been more like producing beats and stuff. You really got to get in the flow. If you want to freestyle well, you got to be doing it all the time.
I just want to make that softer, but
That's not what she said. Well, actually, if she's end goal oriented, then it is
I don't know.
results oriented.
But follow us on SoundCloud.
Your new favorite SoundCloud rappers with the Suno
Fullski.
Yeah, it was
Fullski and Marcheski?
Yeah. Team Skis.
Skis.
We did that. So it was Pro Skis for Thumna. I was Full Skis because of Fuller. It was Dev Skis, Caitlin was Kate Skis. It was Team Skis. We put skis on everybody's name. So Rich Skis or Marcheski.
Built into my
Cheskis.
name.
Yeah, Cheskis. I don't know. Rich Skis I like better. Oh, I didn't catch you. I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yo, that shit is fire, guy.
That was mad fun.
Oh, is it still recording here? I don't know what's going on here. Were we recording there? I think we just recorded another layer. You want to delete?
But you can go back, save it. I'm sure you can
As a different version, I
either
hope.
delete it or
Okay.
you can. What's this? Time signature. So you can like mute it. I just gotta learn how to
mute it.
Oh,
mute
you
it.
could add effects to it. So, like vocals right here. You got vocal effects, 70s ballad, 808 heartbreak.
What is it? Is that Taylor Swift?
It's a auto pitch.
What is 808 Heartbreak?
Probably.
I don't know.
It's probably like a Kanye vocoder.
Oh, okay.
I wish I knew how to mute this track or make it quieter. Effects, duplicate, collapse, freeze.
I'm watching what you're doing, man. Monkey see, monkey do.
Did I just mute that?
Fulski see, Fulski do.
Or I just changed its color? I mean, oh. Here we go.
Oh, you're changing what the... Oh, there you go.
No, that's just...
What is that, background noise? Like, what is that?
Oh. Oh, because if you're wearing headphones, so our vocals are picking up the beat too when you're recording. So you want to wear headphones and use a microphone when you're recording so that the microphone isn't picking up the beat.
Okay.
And look, here you can mute the tracks. That's just the beat.
That's why probably I naturally, the first time I tried messing with it, I recorded it. I somehow figured that out and I did it without the thing playing in the background. I think, because I did it a couple days ago. So that's dope. So we got our song right there. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Whispers.
I'm going to work on that hook.
No whispers. Yeah.
Good shit, man.
Hell yeah. So this was dope, man. Hell yeah.
Appreciate you joining me for a talk here.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in and setting this up, man. You're really doing me a favor, and thank you for helping me out with my music and comedy. Like, I really want to take it to the next level. Hopefully, I get this new gig, and we'll take.
Follow Black Guy Boston Accent.
Yeah, definitely.
TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I think you're most live on Instagram.
Tinder. I just kidding. Yeah.
Grinder.
bbwsdating.com. No, I'm only playing. I got a different name there, but yeah. Man,
Craigslist.
Yeah.
Lost Connections.
Classified. Yeah. Lost Connections. Classifieds. Oh my God! But that was really a thing. You know anybody that ever did that? I never had the nerve.
I think we would just go on it and like read them.
Yeah, I would go on there and read them, but I definitely like messaged one and two, but I was like, hey, there's no way.
Oh, I'm
it's
sure
either
we
a guy
did
in
that
the
too.
basement or
It's like prank calling.
Yeah,
visually.
but because Billy said with the prank calls, Billy was me and him were the king prank calls. Like oh my God, he would have me dying. Like he could just come up with things on the spot. Like we would just call random people. Like we should have been doing like comedy skits as kids. Like because you did prank calls with him too on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, but you did it when you were younger. We were doing that shit like early, maybe like in freshman and sophomore year of high school. It was hilarious.
Then my gay friend, I sent him the Billy interview, and I was like, they're getting sexier. Like each guy I bring on, I just try to get like a sexier guy.
I don't know. I'm the first one it went down because Billy was my dog. We would go anywhere. Like he was like. I struggled. Like he said he struggled. So me and him would just go and think because I lifted weights and we like had MySpace pages and we'd be flexing. I was Bacardi and Cola. They get the job done. The commercials that came out when we were in high school.
Yeah.
It was like a black guy and a white guy. So I was Cola and he was Bacardi and that was our MySpace profiles. And we would go out and they'd be like, yo, it's Bacardi and Cola. Like it was kind of getting low key, lightweight famous. And like people were inviting us to parties. But yeah, so I didn't have any game, so I just lifted weights and posing was my game, and that would get girls to come up. So being with him, it was good. Like, I didn't have game, but like us just posing, like
YouTube.
So I'm the first one that went down because Billy is definitely
who the sexiest 20-year timeout guest has been so far.
Me and Billy going out, he definitely got more girls than I did. I will give it to him. He's one of the only few people that did that. Billy's a stud. He's a stud. The Italian stallion. But yeah, hell yeah, you're the number 2 stud, my guy. I'm happy with number 3. I'll be bronze, the bronze warrior. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you. Let's do something like this again. And get the
hell yeah.
All right, cool. Fuck yeah, bro.